He's a hard worker in practice, and he's detailed in practice, and he's done a good job in practice. That's all I can go off of.
So I'm going to call in our good friend Uncle Stu to help me solve this problem. Uncle Stu, Leaf coach wants the team to play a certain way. The players know that he wants that, but it's not happening. Uncle Stu, what is that?
I don't know. Maybe there's you obviously have your systems and you have your belief, but do you really believe, is this the right way to do it, right? And if you're not really performing and activating what the coach wants, there has to be some accountability. So I would be moving guys up and down the lineup. I think some guys would be in and out of the lineup to sort of get that accountability, right? But I'll tell you this, I think it's just sort of maybe some of the personnel issue, right? And I had to go back and look at both the Samuelson's goal, and what I will tell you on the breakdowns, it is wingers playing on their offside. And I'll tell you this, when you get caught on your offside or playing on your off wing in the D zone, you usually get mesmerized by the puck because you're uncomfortable, and sometimes you just sort of sag or you recover to the house. So a lot of teams are exploiting that, and I've been saying this for about 2 weeks on this program. They're getting locked into their zone. They're getting plugged in. They're not breaking out, properly because they do not have that even right shot to left shot ratio. So that is the problem. What is the solution? Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make sure I'm in the proper lane. I'm going to make sure I'm not focusing on blowing the zone. I'm going to make sure I'm going to have an active stick to force the player, the opposition, to take an extra couple seconds to make that pass. So, again, you have to make the best of the situation. But for me, if you're not scoring goals or you're not clicking, you got to play good team defense, and it just wasn't there. Just wasn't there.
So what if I give you a real simple explanation? When you're not scoring, they would say, just put more pucks in the net. So if you're having that problem in your zone, why don't you just come out with a good puck pressure game of your own so that puck's not even in your zone? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but again, you're looking at, and I'll tell you this, and from a matchup standpoint, you're looking at the Buffaloes, the Detroits, and the New Jerseys. They have some very, very fleet-of-foot defensemen. So if this team now is taking a step back in the foot speed department, it's tough to catch those guys. I used to have a coach when I was playing in the English League during the lockout. Hey, you need to get in, dump and chase. I'm like, what do you mean dump and chase? There's an extra 30 feet here than there is in the NHL. The guys are just going to take the puck and skate around. So I think for them, don't just chip the puck for the sake of chipping it to retrieve it, but when's the last time you've heard a glass-shattering hit? Think about that in this building. Think about it, where the crowd is, right? And I'm like, that's the easiest thing to do. I'm just going to go out and torpedo somebody, and if I take 2 minutes, well, at least the crowd's going to give me a high five and maybe buy me a hot dog after the game. But that's what it starts with that. Hey, let's get the crowd involved in the first 10, 15 minutes. But I'll tell you this, sometimes I had to drink an extra Red Bull. Sometimes I had to, maybe go to sleep a couple hours earlier. I did not have the luxury of not starting on time, and I think that's been the problem with this group. They're not starting on time. They're waiting for something to happen, and the other teams are just taking initiative and bringing it to the Maple Leafs. But what is the identity? And I'm sure Craig Berube's mentioned that. What are we going to focus on every single night? And it can't just be lulling the other team to sleep and waiting for a big power play or waiting for Austin Matthews to score, 3 goals a game. It's not going to happen. Collectively as a group, they have to be much better, and I'm sure that's the message from Craig Berube and co at this point in the season.
Well, you brought up an excellent point, along with the other ones that are very good. But the excellent point is about the physical play. I don't see, if I go back over a number of years, I would say they brought in this guy to do that, but as soon as he put on that jersey, he stopped doing it. What is that?
I don't know. Is it the New York Yankee pinstripe? Once you're here, you have a certain status and you don't have to do it. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. And especially if this team put an emphasis on getting bigger, getting stronger, getting meaner, I've yet to see that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I've had my job and my, placement within the lineup called out specifically by a coach. And I had to go out and do something. And Craig Berube, who mentions, he's not afraid to talk to the players. Again, they just seem like the message is not received. And they seem they're waiting for the miracle. What's going to happen? Is it going to be Willie? Are we going to throw a flip pass to him and he's going to go on a breakaway to get us back into the game? Is it going to be the big one-timer on the power play? So I think for them, it's just they're focusing on, hey, let's get to the third period and hopefully our magic will take over, as opposed to just focusing on that process, shift to shift. And I think I've only seen it 2 or 3 times last night, and they actually scored goals doing that, where they put more than 2 shifts together, where 3 lines came out,
right,
sustained pressure. You saw Joshua's goal last night.
Yeah.
That's the first time I think I've seen that all year.
That's a greasy goal. Absolutely.
Come out of the corner, crashed in that second, third opportunity. And that was a big wrench off his back and then scoring his first goal as a Toronto Maple Leaf. But you need more of that. So can they build on that? But again, momentum. Not how do you get it, how do you keep it? They have to do a much better job of that as well.
Both teams on the ice warming up, of course, and on the way out, let me tell you that Overdrive is hooking up the coaching legends of Leafs Nation this season, and you know exactly what we mean. The diehards have put in a legendary shift in the couch every Leafs game, feeding, cheering, cursing at the TV. This is their chance to win Leafs tickets. Head to tsn1050.ca, nominate the ultimate Leafs fan, someone who never misses a game but just can't seem to score tickets. Every week we'll pick one fan and upgrade them from a seat on the couch to a seat in the barn. Overdrive's coaching legends, powered by Medea, the world's #1 smart home appliance brand. Details at tsn1050.ca. Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena, TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
The new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, tells the story of his 1982 album, Nebraska.
It was a representation of who I wanted to be.
Bruce Springsteen joins actor Jeremy Allen White in a SiriusXM town hall with questions from superfans.
If you can make this honest, people will connect with it.
On E Street Radio, SiriusXM Channel 20, and on the SiriusXM app. Search E Street Radio Specials.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or two, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Mick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games, certainly with this year and what's kind of going on. It is something that we seriously have to look at, and if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on SiriusXM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game, and when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken, don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home, and it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Get it set for the opening face-off just after 5. I'm going to say the puck drops around 5:10-ish tonight. Early start for obvious reasons. And I got to tell you, I did the Raptors game last night. Got here early, left early, boom, see you. No problem. If you go to the other event, bit of a problem.
Well, that's because you got the yes guy chopper, right? So that's expressed. Not many choppers flying around Toronto at this point.
Yeah, I was. If it was warmer, I'd have the yes guy hovercraft out there, but it's a little dicey.
Yep.
Don't have the thermals out yet. Joshua, as you said, scored the greasy goal last night. A couple of whacks at it, right at the edge of the blue paint. And here he is, Dakota Joshua, and scoring his first goal as a Leaf.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. Just I guess more of a relief, and nice to get one.
Why do you say that? Why relief? Do you
feel like it should have come earlier?
I mean, no, it's just give and take in this game, right? It doesn't owe you anything, so I wouldn't say that. Just, you're with a new team, and, you want to make an impact every night. And haven't had my best start to the season, so it was nice to get one.
Where do you feel like you're at now, Dakota, in terms of the adjustment process?
I mean, trending in the right direction, I'd say. Obviously, a long way to go. Just got to keep working.
First taste of this rivalry in this building, can kind of feel like a derby kind of thing. What was it like tonight?
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. It was fun to be a part of. Only ever seen it on TV before, so yeah, that was a good atmosphere to be a part of.
What's been the biggest challenge for you adjusting, do you think?
I think just the start of the season in general, getting going, and just finding a way to once again make an impact every night. The chemistry will obviously come with the team, and that's what we're striving for every day.
What's it like playing with Easton?
Good. He's a great player, young player, a lot of energy. Try to make it as easy as possible for him, and help him out when we can. But great player to play with.
Dakota Joshua and Stu, you get a real good idea there about trying to find your fit on a new team, a team with expectations, high expectations. And obviously there's an adjustment period individually and collectively, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, right? And again, they were sort of grilling him a little bit there too, but that's expectations as he's coming in on a pretty decent contract at $3.25 million. But I think for him, he's a guy that I think some players can take a page out of his book. They didn't really start the strongest, but he's building his game shift by shift, and it starts with getting on the forecheck. He had 4 hits last game. I believe he did have 2 shots, and just focusing on the process. And then when now the opportunity presents itself, it bangs himself home. So whether or not you're scoring or putting up points, it's how do you affect the game. And I think for him, he's amongst the team leaders in hits. But again, it's let's see a little bit more. Let's, like you said, let's get that heavy hit. Let's now have that hit that can turn the tide of the game. And that's another thing, too, right? This Buffalo Sabres team, I played with Patrick Coletta, and some of the hits that he would make, it would make you get out of your seat and get the energy going where, you know what, I got to go out there and do something, right? So, again, for Joshua, he's fitting in. He's getting better every single game. You're noticing he's getting some chemistry with Waugh. They're getting it on the cycle. They're doing that. That's one element that's going to be very, very important as the season drags along, because you're not going to be able to be scoring goals off the rush. You're scoring these fancy goals. He's starting to play Craig Berube hockey, and it's good to see him get rewarded last game against the Buffalo Sabres.
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And it's easy to be concerned about the Maple Leaf start. If you want to go down the street, the baseball team didn't look good until a series against Oakland in May. 3rd week of May, I think it was. Up until then, it was like, what's going on? Nothing. Okay, and then all of a sudden, just took right off. Now, this particular thing, I think because it's a back-to-back with Buffalo, and you lost in Buffalo last night, I don't think we'd ever dreamed that we could be sitting here saying the Leafs were swept by Detroit and maybe by Buffalo in a 2-week span. I mean, that's just odd.
Yeah, and we watched Detroit in preseason, and they didn't look great.
No.
They're starting to play good hockey now, but they're not a good hockey team, 2-3 weeks ago when they lost. So, again, the team's probably going to lose 30 games, 35 games. We understand that, but it's how you lose. And win, lose, or draw, it's got to be the effort and say, hey, you know what? They needed some better puck luck, or, they lost because of this. But right now, these losses have been they're just giving the game away, right? It's a 4-3 game last night. You're on the power play. You're trying to force that pass, and that's the mistake. But where's the back check? Where's the back check? How are you getting outskated by some of these guys? And, I saw even last night. Not a speed demon team, okay? You got to be either or. You got to be the speed demon, or you got to be the heavy, slow the team down. You can't just be slow and giving teams time and space. So, again, 8 games in. I know we're doing the eulogy. It sounds like we're talking game 55, but the one thing I can tell you, it's not a light switch in the NHL. You have to work your way out of it. And I think it starts with the big guys too, and they need some big nights. And I think it starts tonight. But you're looking at the situation now. I don't like the situation that Caden Primo's in. Here's a guy that struggled in the National Hockey League last year, had to go work on his craft down in the minors and get his confidence back. There's a lot riding on this specific, particular game, because if it's another loss where it doesn't look good, the temperature's gonna rise very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So to put a young goaltender in that situation, I'm not a big fan of that. But maybe again, he had some good practices. The analytics are saying he's due for a big, big game, and if he comes in and does what he needs to do, again, that could maybe be the springboard for this team to turn things around.
That's right. I mean, all you have to do is win, and all of a sudden, the teeter-totter goes in the other direction.
But I'll tell you this. But I just want to, and I played with some Stanley Cup champions, and they would be in the room or they'd be on the bench saying, we are not losing this game. And for some reason, don't ask me, I believed them. I believed them because they would back it up. So there's certain points where we need the win tonight. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear, I want to see someone say, you know what, we're doing what we need to do to put this team on our back and make sure we get the win. And that's the difference between some teams that are contenders and teams that aren't.
So on the blue line last night, Mermis and Myers. We know that Riley's back in tonight, so I don't know which one of those guys comes out. OEL here on the defensive performance while shorthanded without Riley and Tanev.
Yeah, I thought Merms and Myers played good. It's not easy to come in like that. And then, shovel the details around a little bit, but I thought for the most part we looked good. But got to find a way to keep it out of our net.
It's got to be a hard one, right, for two guys to come in and that style of game. Looked like it was a little run and gun river hockey. For these guys to adjust has got to be a challenge.
Yeah, but at the same time, we talked about it, and we said before the game that we wanted to play our game and not getting dragged into their game, and I thought we kind of got away from that a little bit in the second, like I said. Yeah, we gotta keep pushing, keep getting better. It's a new game tomorrow, so it's take the good with us and build on it for tomorrow's game.
Is it too easy to play to the second period, or is that just the way it's been happening where things maybe get away on you?
No, I think obviously we got to find a way to simplify it a little bit, or find a way to, just defend a little bit more. And like I said, I think keeping the puck out of our net, and I thought we did that the first half of that period. So that was a step in the right direction, but at the same time, we got to do that for the whole period, and then going into the third, it's hard to be behind and push, and we got to be comfortable having the lead, and we know that going back to last year that we're a really good team when we have the lead, so kind of finding our way back to that.
Nylander's been pretty durable over his career. What's your kind of sense of concern when he's unable to finish tonight?
Yeah, obviously we want to have him out there, so I hope it's all right.
Never like to see a teammate go down, but what does the opportunity to run the top power play unit mean to you?
Obviously we want Mo out on the ice, and hopefully he's back soon. And for me, it's just stepping in and trying to do the best I can to help the team out, like I've said so many times. But obviously it's nice to get a look there, and a little bit different, obviously.
OEL talking about the deficiencies on the blue line with the injuries. We know that Morgan Riley is back in tonight. It looks like Mermis is out. It looks like Nylander is in, although that could change in the next 3 or 4 minutes. And Robertson is back in tonight. So Yarncroke is out from the early reports.
What does he got to do? Score more goals? No, but again, it's at this point, sometimes as coaching staff, you overanalyze. How's the guy? How's his practice habits? How is he interacting with the team? So sometimes, again, there's no method to the badness, but, Nick Roberts, another opportunity to show what he can do as well, too. Same thing with Cowan, right? And, but again, it's for me tonight, I want to see a statement game from Matthews and Nylander and these guys, because, going back to it, it's not going to be the magic trick. It's not going to be the super skill. You got to dig down deep and sort of have that gut check time. And it's gut check time. There's been times that they've had this last season, they answered the bell. It hasn't been this early. But again, it's an adversity league, and you have to find a way to pull through. If you want to win the Stanley Cup, obviously you're not going to do it in October, but you got to start building your habits towards that in October, November.
That's the key reference point, right? Is how you dealt with adversity all the way through the 82 games.
Yep. Right, and there's injuries, and again, I know we're in a little bubble here in Toronto, but again, there's teams that are struggling. The temperature is really, really high in Tampa Bay. With Kucherov's line struggling, and they're breaking those guys up too. So other teams are going through it. It's just how do you respond? It just seems there's another wheel falling off the bus as this goes along. Again, you got to get out and just put the wheel back on and keep chugging along. So again, I want to see, and I've said it 10 times over the year, last year too. I want to see the first 5-10 minutes. I want to hear the crowd. Are the crowd on their phone checking scores or checking lineups for another sport, or are their phones are down and they're excited? And we've heard it at times. How loud have we heard this building? It's been the loudest it's been in years. I haven't heard it as a player, right? So, again, how do you get the crowd into it, playing strong-nose, hard-style hockey?
Everybody booking excursions in the S-Guy chopper. It gets a little crowded up there.
There's only room for, 50 there? No, 20.
No.
20. It's not that big. 20 people, that's it.
All right, we'll step out, set up the opening face-off for you next. Leafs Game Night live from Scotiabank Arena, TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
When you get into a new RAV4, you might suddenly find yourself camping, even if the closest you've been to nature is your houseplants. Because with all-wheel drive, you can get in and right out of there. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 RAV4 LE all-wheel drive from $107 weekly for 40 months at 5.89% with $2,500 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
In Canada, opening a business bank account can take weeks. The fees on your account are endless, and your money earns nothing. Honestly, what the f***? We hear you, but your WTF is also why there's Float. Float is a complete finance platform with business accounts that open in minutes, charge 0 fees, and earn up to 4% interest. It's a business account that makes sense and money. So let's take back our WTFs and celebrate why there's Float. Open your account today at floatfinancial.com.
Looking for more value at the pump? With a PC Financial credit card, you earn up to 7 cents per liter in PC Optimum points on all fuel at Esso and mobile stations, so you can get more points to redeem for more of the rewards you want. Apply today at pcfinancial.ca/Esso.
Wendy's most important deal of the day has a fresh lineup. Pick any 2 breakfast items for $4. New 4-piece French toast sticks, bacon or sausage wrap, biscuit or English muffin sandwiches, small hot coffee, and more. Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Taxes extra.
Pizza lovers know sometimes you need more than a medium. So 2-for-1 Pizza offers their large 2-topping pizza special. 2 delicious toppings, 1 large pizza for just $12.99. Classic pepperoni and mushrooms, ham and pineapple, bacon and green pepper. It's up to you. Order 2-for-1's large pizza 2 toppings for $12.99 deal today. Call 241-0241 or online at 2for1pizza.com.
2-for-1 Pizza, 2-for-1.
Well, how did this happen? Leafs trying to avoid a series sweep by Buffalo 2 weeks after Detroit did just that. Divisional rivals getting under the Leafs' skin somehow. Oh, no, guy. Defensive zone played loose. Goals going in, injuries mounting. Will this end tonight? Well, let's find out. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey starts now.
It's time for Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Welcome back inside Scotiabank Arena. Leafs against the Buffalo Sabres back-to-back. Sabres winning 5-3 last night. Short-handed goal, the dagger, late in the hockey game. And here's the lineup the Leafs are expected to start tonight. Matthews between Nylander and McMahon. Tavares centering Maccelli and Nyes. Waugh centering Cowan and Joshua. Domi centering Robertson and Lorenz. Yarncroke is out on the blue line. McCabe, Carlo. Morgan Riley back in playing with OEL. Benoit and Myers. Mermis is out. Primo starts in goal. And if you weren't with us earlier, Stolarz not dressing tonight. A day of rest. Hildeby has been recalled from the Marlies. A lot of pressure on the kid goaltender.
Yes, and, we've seen it in this building in past when there's been inadequate goalies or goalies that need some defending, that they really lock down and play that good team defense. So Toronto's going to have to do the same thing now. You do not want a young goaltender sort of thrown out to the wolves, and that was sort of their issue last night, playing a good team defense. So I like to see them starting in their own zone, breaking out cleanly, having good sticks, taking away lanes, and just ultimately moving your feet. So the one thing I could tell you last night, the Matthews line, you saw McMahon sort of jump out of the cannon here. He's been bringing a lot of speed to that line as well. Nyes is getting in on the forecheck. He's complementing well with Tavares and Michelli as well too. And you're seeing the sort of evolvement of that third line with Waugh and Joshua. They're getting in and establishing a forecheck. So everyone else sort of just has to be a net even. But again, it starts with good discipline, good team defense, and that will lead to good offense for the Toronto Maple Leafs team tonight.
If you look at the score sheet from last night, Samuelson scores for Buffalo, 438, 501. Nylander scores, and then at 612, Kulich scores for Buffalo. So, I mean, the Sabres got on them early, didn't they?
Yeah, the most important shift is one after the goal, and you have to find a way to sort of weather that storm. And that's sort of been a question mark for this group. When they have momentum, they give it away so quickly. Even on the power play, it's not about scoring a goal, but does it keep momentum or gain momentum in the game? So they have to find a way to do that. And again, when you're struggling to get these wins, it starts with team defense. So if I'm Craig Berube tonight, I'm saying, you know what, let's hold this Buffalo Sabres team up to 7 shots this first period and let the offense take over.
Okay, so late breaking, Nylander was a game-time decision. He went on the line rushes, according to Mark Masters, and I've just been told Nylander has been scratched, according to Mark Masters, so he will not play, which means Järnkrok would be back in.
So we'll take it off the top and just whatever I just said, throw it out the window. Right?
Well, it's a significant loss.
Right? But the good thing with Järnkrok, again, he does have 3 goals on the year. He has struggled to score in and out of the lineup, too, but he is a Swiss Army knife. That's why they brought him in. He can slide up and down the lineup, and I've noticed him. He's brought a lot more speed and energy and, charisma, since he's been back from injury from last year.
I mean, it just puts more onus on the guys playing to get the job done, doesn't it?
Exactly, right. Austin Matthews, and, we've heard the talk. He's a top 10 player in the National Hockey League, one of the most elite scorers. They're not saying it's specifically on him, but I'd like to see him elevate his game. As you see some of the other stars, when the going gets tough, you can physically see them jump out at the screen. Same thing with Matthew Nyes and John Tavares. John Tavares, I think, has had a great season so far, too. So, yes, it's early. You're still trying to get some chemistry. But in the league, everyone struggles. Everyone has adversity. How do you deal with it? So that's what I like to see. Is this going to be a rebound game that sort of springboards them back up the standings, or is it now a game that just continues to have to continue the leak and the wheels fall off the bus?
Could I go so far as to suggest it's a character test?
I thought you were going to say it's a must-win.
Well,
for argument's sake and for narrative's sake, it is a must-win. I think so. But whether or not for me, like if I'm Berube, I want to see some trends and some habits that are going to start building towards wins. Out-shooting teams by 10, 15 shots, power play scoring 2 goals, not giving up a shorthanded goal. So once you start doing those little details and those little things, those ultimately lead to more wins consistently.
So I was just looking at the Leafs on the scoreboard. They have them leaving the dressing room, and I did see Järnkrok dressed. They're obviously hitting the ice now, so that would confirm that Nylander's out. Not that we were doubting what Mark Masters was saying, but Järnkrok would be the guy in, and quite frankly, they don't have anybody else to put in anyway. So that just confirms all that we've been talking about. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where Järnkrok's going to draw in. I would assume maybe with Waugh and Joshua, and then maybe move up Cowan, maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I would suggest to you, if things don't work out, the blender will be plugged in.
Yes. On super high.
Yeah, you play with you.
You might see me in the third period. You never know.
No guy.
The mascot duty.
Yeah. So, quick thought: how tough or how important is it to start this thing well?
It's very, very important, but again, it would be easy for guys that are in the bottom 6. So if the expectation isn't for you to go out and put up goals, you got to bring the energy. I want to see that energy the first 5 minutes.
Okay, Joe Bowen and Jimmy Ralph are next. That's the opening face-off. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey, TSN 1050, and the iHeartRadio app and the Leafs Radio Network.
Now through October 31st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues. To be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 in the SiriusXM app. No transportation will be included in connection with these prizes. For full contest information and official rules, visit SiriusXM.com/MLB Postseason Heroes 2025. No purchase necessary. Open only to current SiriusXM subscribers prior to September 19th. You must be a U.S. resident over the age of 18.
Under review.
And stop making excuses for bad goaltending. And is it bad? Is it horrendous? If you don't win because you don't make a save or 2, yeah. The nature of it is the goaltender is responsible for 90% of the action. He's got to stop the puck. Why do we keep making apologies for goaltending? Stop it.
Under review with Nick Kern. 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Winnipeg Jets head coach Scott Arniel. Has that number changed with the Olympics compressed schedule for Connor Hellebuck?
He keeps pushing for 82 games, certainly with this year and what's kind of going on. It is something that we seriously have to look at, and if we want to play well into June and to make that run to the Stanley Cup, I need a guy that's going to be able to be fresh for that whole stretch.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. Nothing puts you closer to the action than Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
St. Louis Blues General Manager Doug Armstrong, Alex Steen, speak to where that's at, the succession plan, and
he is going to be the manager after this season. You have to know when your expiration date is with the group, and I think it was time to be honest with myself that the organization itself needed to change, and we're excited to have Alex ready to take over.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91. We deliver the NHL.
Head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore. What's the mental approach to get to the dance?
Every year you start at the same spot as every team, right? Like you're at the bottom of the mountain. And when we get to that point, if we can, then we can knock down the final kind of stretch of highway we haven't been able to cover. So let's make the best out of every day and play our ass off every night and see what happens.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
A game that they got back into, but not all the way back. On a couple of occasions, they were able to equalize a one-goal deficit, but in the end, a shorthanded goal and a situation where the Leafs' power play has really let them down. Forces them into, well, it's not a must-win situation, but it's as close as Dan is to swearing, I would suggest to you, Mr. Ralph.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, Greg Rube's post-game press conference saying that he liked the effort, and I don't know whether that is more telling as to the games leading up to that one.
Puck is
that
dropped.
There was an improvement. Apologies.
Sorry, yep, and we're underway as the Sabres launch it down, and Primo's going to bunt it aside to give it off now to Benoit, who plays it along the boards, and this will slide the rink to the rink. And an icing call will come, and the face-off in the Toronto zone will be brought to you by Alpine Credits. You own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca.
Now, let's be honest, there are a lot of teams that are in the Eastern Conference that are in the Leafs boat. Tampa Bay off to a tough start. Florida off to a very average start for them, battling some major injuries.
And the Leafs, over the last number of years, have never been a good October team. They've kind of bounced around the 500 mark and then caught fire later on. So I guess before we jump all over a panic button, we better give them a little bit of time and space. But no William Nylander this afternoon. He is out. Morgan Riley back as the puck comes into the slot and a shot. And Primo got in the way of that. Around back of the net, the Sabres trying to come out with it, with Thompson getting a shot away. Blocked another shot. And that deflected high into the far corner. And a whistle here.
Puck went up into the netting.
It might have been an injury as Jake McCabe is being assisted back towards the Toronto bench. Did he block that?
Yeah, or did it catch
came
him
up
up
and
high?
Caught, came off his stick and caught him up high. But he is going to the bench. Seems to be all right. You know, he was a warrior last night. especially when the Leafs were 2 men short. Along the boards, Alex Tuch taking a wrap-around attempt, and he fed it wide as the Sabres get it back to the blue line and keep it in. Puck back into the corner. Riley takes his man along, and now Oliver Ekman-Larsson gets it ahead. Again, it's chipped down the ice. Robertson trying to get there to deny icing, but the linesman says he lost the race. And Nick Robertson into the lineup this afternoon.
This is one of those cases where you end up scoring a couple of goals, right? Not supposed to be here. You would hope for Nick Robertson, who is still looking for his first of the season.
Face off to the right of Caden Primo, who comes in with a record of 1-0-0 and a 4.00 goals against average. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is making his first start for the Sabres this year, and he has never beaten the Maple Leafs. Along the boards, the puck comes free, and the Leafs are going to punch it out at center, but have they done it a little too far again? No, it won't go over the goal line for icing, but the Sabres come away with the loose puck and get it out into neutral ice. A pass on the wing is brought in over the line and onto the right wing side. Trying to turn it up ice there was Tuch, but it was broken up, and the Maple Leafs have it under control in their own end. To center ice it comes. Shot down into the Buffalo zone. The Leafs are getting a change going. Likewise, the Sabres, as they have the puck back of their own goal, and Bowen Byram will wait for teammates to swing. They've got everybody up over the center ice red line, and now finally someone comes back into the defensive zone, and they'll start out with it. A pass up on the right wing to center. Broken up and brought back in by John Tavares. Tavares along the left wing board stops it up. Tried to play it back to the point, but then goes into the corner for Nyes. Nyes trying to get it away from his numerical counterpart, but Samuelsson gets it into the corner, and now brought to the line. Nyes takes his man down, but the puck comes to center. Quickly back in for Tavares. Tavares fakes the shot, then let it go. A big rebound in front, and a penalty coming here as Nyes was driving the net and is dragged to the ice.
You know, this is a pretty good penalty to take if you're the Buffalo Sabres. A huge rebound off the left pad of Luukkonen and going right out towards Matthew Nyes. And it's going to be an interference called. Josh Dunn going to the penalty box for the Sabres. The Leafs did score on the power play last night in Austin Matthews' goal, but gave up another shorthanded goal at a critical part of the game late in the third.
So the face-off is going to be in the Buffalo zone to the right. And the face-off won, and Riley drops it off into the corner for Matthews. Centering pass! Big pad save made by Luukkonen. On to the left wing side, Michelli. Back to the point to Riley. Riley with a wrist shot in traffic, but Luukkonen got a pad in front of that. Matthews with a puck around on the far boards, loses it, and it's going to be, look out, whipped into, boy, that missed the Buffalo bench and caromed into the Leaf bench.
Well, could have been close to going off the head of John Tavares as well. 1:38 left in the Leaf power play.
So Josh Dunn in the penalty box. And the draw in the circle to the left of the Buffalo goaltender. Matthews leaning in against Krebs as it comes back to the point and shot down the ice by Buffalo. Riley circles the net and starts up ice. He'll get to center and feed it off to Tavares, who finds Michelli on the left wing, who carries in over the line. Back to Tavares on the right half wall. It comes back into the slot, but it's turned over. Buffalo send it down the ice. Sabres penalty killing has been outstanding. They're second in the league. They've allowed just 2 goals on 30 times short. And that's not even the best part of it.
2 short-handed goals.
Shot right back down into the Leaf end. Primo couldn't trap it. Matthews has to skate to the puck and now leads it there and heads to the bench. Second unit with 53 seconds left to go as it's brought out slowly on the right wing side, and now here's Cowan across the line, but a bad pass broken up by the Sabres brought back in by Cowan. He gets another opportunity with it. Cowan down the left wing boards, still with it. Down low it goes for McMahon. McMahon into the slot area. One-timer on the far side. Just trickled past the near post as Luukkonen got most of it. Now the Sabres break it out at center. McLeod in on the right side, trying to drop it back, and Cowan is able to turn the puck away and get it up on the wing. McMahon got it across the line, but it'll be intercepted and shot down the ice by Buffalo as the penalty will run out in 7 seconds time. No score early in the first period. Long shooting around the boards is going to find Lorenz. Back along the boards, he sends it back at the net and gets it handed to him, but then his pass was intercepted by Thompson and played down into the Toronto end. Jake McCabe back into the fray after taking that puck up around the chest or neck area, has it on the boards and gets it on the wing and chopped out off a linesman, but right onto the stick of Zach Benson. Benson plays it down into the corner. Benson after it as it bounces along the wall, but the Leafs are able to push it out at center. And it's carried to center ice by Lorenz and fed in over the line. Lorenz gets it in deep, and that's his cue to head to the bench for a change of players. Sabres organizing in their own zone. Owen Power behind the goal. Gets it ahead at center for Jack Quinn. Quinn turned it over. Leafs get it out. Here's a chance now for Robertson on the left wing. He's going to circle around and now try to send it around the boards. Far side for Myers. He chips it back at the net. McMahon gets it to Matthews. Back to the point it'll come. Long shot deflects high and wide. McMahon with it on the far wall. Back to the blue line. D to D it'll come to Benoit. His shot deflected just wide of the far post by Austin Matthews. Centering pass is intercepted, and now, whoa! A slamming hit there by Benoit as he stood up Jason Zucker right in front of the Buffalo bench. I don't think he got them all, but he got most of them.
It's still pretty loud from up here, wasn't it?
Riley shoots it in. Around on the boards, far side to the blue line. Kept alive by the Maple Leafs in front of the net. Nyes dropping, trying to get a shot away. A rebound in front chance. That was blocked. And it's cleared into the corner, and the Sabres are going to get rid of it to center ice. My goodness, the Leafs have had a couple of really good scoring chances here. It'll go into the Leaf zone. Grabbed off on the far side by Samuelson, who got it around back of the net. Doan trying to get it back to the point, and a shot coming. That deflection is gone high into the screen, in behind Primo, and out of play.
Well, that last chance the Leafs had, it was Easton Cowan that had the puck bounce to him, but he couldn't direct it towards the net, kind of fluttered it wide in the short side.
It is a 0-0 tie. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
It's time to get hyped for the NBA season on Sirius XM. From the Knicks looking to take control of the East.
The clutch player of the year will not be denied. Jalen Brunson puts the Knicks in front.
To Cooper Flagg's debut in Dallas.
Welcome to the league, Cooper Flagg.
And the Thunder defending its title.
Behind the board, knocks down an 8-foot jumper. SGA has come to play tonight, baby.
You'll hear every game on your radio and the hometown announcers on the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio.
But the other thing that Connor McDavid has earned is he's earned a voice in what happens with the team. Where are you guys headed? What are you guys doing? I need to know, because he made it very clear in his comments, I want a chance to win and win again. That doesn't mean he gets final say. They need to listen to Connor McDavid. They need to express their views to Connor McDavid.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
At the start, although I thought the first couple of shifts they were back on their heels again, playing a lot in their own zone. I still think defensively, Joe, we could talk about needing more from the power play and offense, but it's defensively that I think has been the big letdown for them, especially in the last 3 or 4 games.
William Nylander took the warm-up, but deemed it was not ready to go after he left the game near the end of the contest in Buffalo. So the Leafs have activated Nick Robertson. Here's Thompson with a shot. That deflects up into the screen, but the arm of the official is up. And a penalty is coming here to Jake McCabe, I believe. Maybe a cross-check.
High stick, I think, was the...
All right. Chris Schlenker and Jake Brink are the referees. Steve Barton, Julian Fournier are the linesmen here today. And McCabe has gone to the box.
Boy, what happened was a stick was being held, Joe. When he went to yank it away, he ended up catching the Buffalo player up high. That was Yuri Kulich.
So the Sabres go to their first power play. And the Leafs win the face-off. Carrying it up on the wing is Benoit. He's going to send a long shoot in well wide of the Buffalo goal. Sabres coming back with it. Rasmus Dahlin to the line and in on the left wing. Dahlin to the front of the net, but the return pass didn't come to him. Now he tries to get it away from Matthews, who fights his man off the puck and sends it out and down the ice. Sabres organizing in neutral ice. Dahlin dropping it for Thompson. Tag Thompson can't get across the line cleanly. Sabres almost turned the puck over and now have difficulty on the right wing, but Josh Doan gets across the line and plays it around back of the Leaf goal. Hustling in there after it is Nick Roy. Roy got it freed up, and Yarncrook wastes very little time shooting it down the ice. He might have had a chance to maybe skate that out.
Yeah, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Joe, was starting to take off with him. But that was more of a 2-on-2 rush, so I think better safe on the penalty kill.
Sabres back in over the line. Alex Tuck getting it into the slot. That's picked off. Pushed ahead on the left wing for Lorenz. Lorenz trying to flip it by the defenseman and did. Got it into the corner. Now trying to play it back to the point. Rattled around the boards then by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. It'll come to the near corner. Lorenz doing a nice job here with the half minute to go in the power play. Up on the right side for Bowen Byram. Byram across the line to Tuck to Byram, and a backhand pass was blocked there by Carlo. It comes back to the point, kept alive by the Sabres into the slot. A shot, and Primo got low to make a save on that. I think that's really the first shot that has been on goal. Now here the Sabres coming out from a sharp angle, and Primo had to hug that far goal post. The Sabres with it again. Played by Kulich back to the blue line. The penalty is over. Into the corner, the Sabres trying to organize as McCabe gets back into the defensive posture. Along for Power on the blue line. Long shot in traffic, and Primo finds that through a maze and is able to hold for a face-off coming in the Toronto zone with his dad and his uncle in attendance here this afternoon.
Wayne does quite a bit with the Toronto Maple Leaf alumni. Plays in a lot of games. How you could have 2 forwards in your family and end up with a goalie? Because usually they're smart enough to keep their kids away from that.
Yeah, you wonder how that discussion went. I know with David I had to have that discussion just after his older brothers all played forward.
Well, you're at a disadvantage. And your dad was a goalie.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No. I also could explain to him, you're not going to be able to do anything positive for your team. You cannot win the game.
I still remember seeing a trophy my dad had that he was the defenseman of the year in one of the leagues up in the Sioux.
Nice.
Meaning I picked the wrong position.
Again. Down into the Leaf zone. It's played back at the net. Jamming in there after it is done. It's wedged up against the boards and then fed around the wall. It'll come to the near point. Dahlin makes a nice move to elude Robertson initially, and then the pass was intercepted, but an arm is up, and another cross-checking call is coming. And a Leaf defenseman is headed to the penalty box once more.
And this is one you could call probably 15 times a game. Players stumbled in front of the net, but Leafs are going to go to the box.
Oliver Ekman-Larsson to the penalty box. Second power play for Buffalo. 9:51 to play on a scoreless first. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
When my knees were hurting, I was that guy who told everyone about it. I talked to my colleagues. Hi, everyone. My knees hurt. To my dog. My knees hurt. But really, I should have been talking to my doctor about Cingal, the only treatment that combines fast-acting and long-lasting relief from osteoarthritis knee pain in a single injection. To find a clinic, visit cingal.ca. CINGAL.ca. Stop going on about your knee pain. Instead, talk to your doctor about Cingal. Cingal may not be appropriate for everyone. If you have questions about this product, talk to your doctor.
When you get into a new Tacoma, you might suddenly find yourself expertly tackling bumps and boulders on backwood trails with a confidence you just didn't have during pothole season. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 Tacoma 4x4 double cab SR5 from $134 weekly for 40 months at 6.79% with $4,900 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
Pizzaville's got a really big special. Feed 4 or more for only $19.99 with Pizzaville's 3-topping extra-large pickup special. Bigger than 2 medium pizzas. Order online or call 416-736-3636.
Darcy Tucker in attendance as the Leafs honor our armed forces representative today with a jersey, and Darcy Tucker making the presentation. One of the more unique characters I think I've had the privilege of doing games for. His eyes rolled into the back of his head when things went a little squirrely.
But if you want to show players nowadays what effort, second effort means, just show them a Darcy Tucker highlight video.
That and courage, because we're not looking at a big man.
No, and you don't even have to show goals.
No. Maybe just the one episode in the bench. Here's the Sabres on the power play again to the point of drive. Good glove save made by Primo off Dahlin from the point. And the captain of the Sabres got all of that one.
Here with Kate Primo knowing that Joseph Wall is going to be back in the mix soon. You know you've got to make the most of these opportunities, right? The back-to-backs. And even though he got the win against Nashville, some of the 4 goals I'm sure he would like to have another shot at.
Here's Dahlin now with the puck, get down into the left wing corner, centered in front, and a pass there blocked. Another shot is kicked away by Primo. Around the boards, it'll come into the near corner and back to the blue line to Thompson. He dishes it off. Walking the line is Zach Benson. Benson off now on the right wing side. Thompson goes down low. Centering pass went right through, and it comes back to Dahlin. A shot that's blocked in front. The Leafs are going to get to it, and it's shot down the ice by Nyes.
Boy, that was great strength by Matthew Nyes. Stick on stick, and eventually steal the puck away from Josh Stone and get it down ice.
Thompson through center, gets it in on the left wing. A pass across went into the near corner. Sabres are onto it quickly. Benson working it back towards the blue line, and Thompson is there. Thompson into the circle, into the slot area for Dahlin, and the shot was caromed off a body and went wide. A couple of Leafs can't get to the loose puck as it goes to the far side, and a shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Sabres with it again. 42 seconds left in the power play. Dished off by Josh Stone to the near side, back to the point to Benson. Benson walks the line and gives it to Dahlin. Back to Benson, back to Dahlin. They play catch with it. Down into the corner it goes. Another pass around back of the net, too far for Josh Stone to get to. Thompson gives it back to him in the corner. Stone back of the net on the near side for Jason Zucker. Zucker to the near point. Benson in. Wrap around attempt, jammed at. Down is Primo. Where's the puck? And I'll tell you what, the Argos' defensive stand on the goal line couldn't have been much better than that.
Boy, Tage Thompson, though, went roaring into the pile late.
Primo just spread out and trying to find that. The elusive Rondell in there, and finally enough people were on top of it that they whistled it down.
was Jason Zucker that from the goal line to Primo's left just sort of swung it towards the net, jammed it into the pads, and waited for teammates to get there for a rebound. Primo had one skate on each post and was face down waiting for the cavalry to arrive.
Okay, the official came back and said something that wasn't audible, so apparently there's no goal. Draw won by the Sabres, though. 8 seconds left in the power play. Quinn shooting, and it's wide. It'll carry him on the boards and out at center, and escaping the penalty box is Oliver Ekman-Larsson. But the Sabres have outshot the Leafs 9-4 and carrying over the line on the right wing side. Tuck missed the net by 30 feet. Around the boards and into the far corner. Tuck gets it freed up again on the far boards for Jack Quinn. Back to Tuck. Tuck with a wrist shot. That missed. It comes to the side of the net in front. And Primo is going to sprawl out and cover up. And Caden Primo has had a solid first period thus far with 7:28 to go in it in a scoreless tie.
This is similar to last night, Joe, where the Leafs had some moments pushing back and then penalty trouble. It was last night. It was a 5-on-3 for a minute 58. The Leafs were able to kill off. Now it's back-to-back minors, and that just saps your bench. A lot of guys are sitting for a long stretch and no offensive zone time.
Leafs get the puck out into the center ice area. Played right back down into the Toronto zone and up on the wing and down along the near boards and into Buffalo territory. Everybody's got pizza up here now. Goodness. Leafs get it back to the point. Riley, a deflection off the goal post. That beat Luukkonen on the glove side, but not the iron.
Kind of a harmless looking shot from the left point.
Was it ever? Here's Riley snapping the puck in. Around on the boards to the far side, unable to track it down. There was Joshua, but he chases it down into the corner. Now the Sabres trying to play it out, and they have. Grabbing it there, Benoit. He'll pump it right back in again. Luukkonen back of the goal, plays it to Timmins in the corner. Former Leaf gets it up on the wing for Benson, and out comes Thompson to center. A right wing feed for Yuri Kulich, and a long pass on the wing, scores! Thompson, I believe, but Domi couldn't identify the man to go to and ended up not taking anyone, and Tag Thompson has opened the scoring for Buffalo.
And I mean, you've got to know that a two-time 40-goal scorer is on the ice and open on the left side. And they had 4 players caught to the middle of the ice, and Tage Thompson is wide open, and like we've seen way too much of late, players getting too much time and space to load up and fire it. And the Leafs, once again, are down to the Buffalo Sabres.
Third goal of the season for Thompson, and as was the case last night, the Sabres have opened the scoring. Luukkonen playing it around the boards, and this moments after the Leafs hit the goalpost. Now a drive whistled wide of the net by Bobby McMahon. McMahon gets a turnover. The puck in the slot for Matthews. Backhanded, weakly wide of the goal. On the left wing side, McCabe pinches to keep it alive. And Tuck will intercept, and now the Sabres work it out into neutral ice, and then curling back is Bowen Byram. And Byram gets away from Robertson and makes a pass up on the right side. Tuck getting into the pass into the slot, a shot. And that caroms off the goalpost. And now we've got a fight going. Whoa, what a right hand by McCabe. He flattens Tuck, who took exception to it.
Hey, Cole. Meet and greet starting soon. You feeling all set?
Yeah, absolutely. Just finishing my good luck spin.
Oh, so that's why you're so chill before your shows.
Works every time. Watch.
Oh, yeah. Let's go again. Let's go. I love this.
Told you.
Okay. I should keep my voice down. Oh, this is a good one. Yes.
Need some chill?
My man.
Let's chumba.
All right, showtime.
Canada, Crave is now the exclusive streaming home of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Let me hear you if you want to win.
Two of the most iconic game shows in television history.
You never know what's going to happen around here.
Stream new seasons next day on Crave.
I'm excited already.
Plus, dive into a massive library of classic episodes, which include Canadian legend Alex Trebek.
Answer. Daily Double.
Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Everywhere you want it.
Well, a little bit of OK Blue Jays. Let's play ball during that commercial break. Maybe we should have had Who's Counting at the Knockdowns, because that right hook.
I don't know what the officials are doing. They're looking at something over on the penalty box on the...
Is it the hit on Bowen Byram? I thought that was a good hit.
But is it a head shot? I think that's what they're looking at. Byram had just shot the puck, so his head was low.
Yeah.
But was the head the point of contact? And if it is, they could be looking at a major penalty here. And or was that almost look shoulder to shoulder, though, didn't it?
Yeah, looking at the replay, but I'll tell you what, the right hook wasn't shoulder to shoulder. That was...
Well, I think he got him on the right shoulder. Left shoulder to right shoulder.
Yeah. Well, both officials are viewing it. Did the elbow come up a little bit while he was making that contact?
Yeah, we haven't really only seen the one angle, right? But Bowen Byram's still on the bench, so you would think if it was an elbow to the head, Bowen Byram would have gone to the room.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the headsets are off.
If there's an announcement, it ain't going to be a good one.
And the discussion is continuing with the two officials.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, here we go.
The call on the players. Someone number 22 has 5 minutes for fighting. Buffalo number 89 has 2 minutes for instigating, 5 minutes for fighting, and a misconduct.
I did not see that coming.
No, and I don't think that was any reason to have. No,
that's not the review. Yeah,
they were looking at the hit.
Yeah, I don't know if there was an announcement. It was other than the fun. Lindy Ruff, understandably so, is over at the Buffalo bench saying, "What?"
Now, that is a tough penalty for Tuck to take, because he also got knocked flat with the right hand.
Yeah, and you know what? I know this is an instigating penalty, right? It's because it comes after the hit, but this is not called 100%.
No, it's not.
And I think, with all due respect, Jake McCabe might have been the one that dropped the gloves first.
Yep. At any rate, Leafs on the power play, trailing by a goal, and let's see if that fight at least got things revved up here for the players. It did the fans. Riley off a face-off win, goes to Michelli, back to Riley on the right wing side. He doesn't shoot it. Michelli gets his pass back. They return it. Riley stretching it out to Matthews on the right wing side. A pass in front of the net. Banged out, another pass. It banks into the corner. Kept alive by the Leafs. Here's Riley in along the far half wall. Got it from Matthews back. Riley into the middle of the ice. Looks to the near side. Goes back to Matthews. Matthews up high with a wrist shot coming, and that deflected wide. Michelli got it back in the net, but it is stolen by the Sabres and whisked out and down the ice. Morgan Riley will go back to the puck. A couple of decent looks in the scramble around there, but no one could get their stick on it to drive it home. Matthews coming through neutral ice to the line and in, and a turnover sends it back down into the zone. Primo coming way out of the goal to play it off to Riley, who now gets it out into center ice for Tavares. Back to Matthews, off on the wing for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. OEL comes through neutral ice. Drops the puck back for Austin Matthews, to the line and in for Nyes, left wing side, pumped around the boards. It'll come to the far side to Tavares. Tavares tried to center. That was intercepted. Now Nyes after a loose puck, but he won't get there. The referee getting in the way of things, but now the Sabres have ample room and space, and they'll bank it off the boards and out at center, and a redirect goes right to Jack Quinn. Quinn tries to break in, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson flattened him. Nyes takes his man to the boards, but the puck is pinned up against the wall by the Buffalo player. Now just pried free, and the Leafs now with 14 seconds left in their second power play opportunity. And this power play has been abysmal from the start of this season. 26th in the NHL, and they're not going to get anything done with this one as the gate opens. Pass off a stick goes to Roy. Nick Roy working in the far corner for Toronto. Still with it. Now twisting and turning and finally getting it to Domi. Back to the point. Shot coming. Went well wide of the net. Riley pinches down the wing. Can't control it cleanly. Now McMahon does. Bobby McMahon coming off the wing, and his shot was blocked on a good play made by Connor Timmins, who is limping as he heads to the bench. But the Sabres get back in with a shot in on goal, and Primo had to make a save there. Another hit by the Leafs on the boards. The Leafs are winning the physical battle, but trailing in the scoring battle 1-0. Whoa! One of the Sabres, was that Darlene? No, who was that? Samuelson went for a header going back after a loose puck as he caught an edge. Puck in the Toronto zone, a backdoor play, pushed to the line but not out. Long shot, drilled wide of the net by Zach Metza. And the Maple Leafs have it under control in their own zone. Played ahead by Benoit. Off a stick. Sabres retain possession back at the blue line. 2:26 to go in the first. Pass here on the right wing side for Krebs. His whistle down on the offside. Face-off coming in neutral ice. 12-5. The Sabres have outshot the Maple Leafs in the period. Even in power play opportunities, but not even in scoring opportunities, to be sure.
Well, we keep seeing these cracks in the defense, even on the power play. You feel you get to a certain point where you think something bad's going to happen. And Buffalo, sure enough, had a couple of odd man breaks while being shorthanded.
Scramble on Luukkonen. He was able to get a shoulder in front of it. Lead pass. Cowan couldn't press the attack. Sabres roll it into the Toronto zone. Chipped on the near wing for Tavares. He'll drop it back. And now the Leafs in their own zone with a bank pass ahead for Cowan. He backhands deep into Buffalo territory. Sabres are after it as it comes around the boards on the near side for Alex Tuch. Now back into the slot area. A shot deflected wide. Tavares trying to flip it in front of the net, but the Sabres are there. And they'll get it ahead to Jack Quinn, who's going to launch it high and then take a hit from Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Quinn didn't like that. Now back the other way comes Nyes. Nyes working the boards on the near side. Slides it into the corner, back of the net for Matthews. Matthews trying to work free from the check. Still has it. And then lost it there to Bowen Byram. Got it back and get it from the score! A quick turnover, and it is Robertson getting his first goal of the season. But some diligent work by Austin Matthews back of the net.
Matthews and Cowan both go fishing for the puck behind the net, and eventually it's worked out front, and Nick Robertson is at the top of the crease, and the quick release, Walker's side. Cowan was the one that actually got to it first and threw it out, so Cowan is going to pick up his second point of the season, both assists. And what did we say about Nick Robertson at the start? He's going to, that's almost like calling an Addison Barger home run, right?
Wow. So what do? Play him one game, bench him the next game, then play him again?
I think so.
It is an interesting statistic.
Remember Jeremy Williams? Played for the Leafs?
Yep.
They called up for one game, scored, they sent him back down. Next year, called up for one game, scored, sent him back down.
The problem was they couldn't bring him up often enough. Needed the rules to be changed. So the Leafs tie the game. Nick Robertson getting his first of the season. Another hit in the corner, and the Sabres get it back to the blue line. Poked away there by Matthews. He couldn't quite break. And now Riley turns in the far corner and pounds it off the boards to get it out into neutral ice with less than a minute to go in period number one. Thompson in on the right side. Got it in along the boards back to the blue line. Long shot in traffic. Big play by Benoit to clear the front of the net. And now he gets it out in center and banks it off the boards to the Buffalo blue line. 38 seconds left to go in the period. Poke check, and the Leafs trying to work it back. That's too bad. The linesman called it offside.
Yeah,
but
Nick Waugh would have been off.
He was off and running. He had no one in front of him because the Sabres were heading to the bench.
Huge goal for the Leafs, though. As the Sabres started to carry the play once again. Now, this is, I mean, technically your first line because you've got Austin Matthews on it. But it's a fourth line type goal, right? Much like the Dakota Joshua goal last night. Outwork the opponent behind the net and get it to the front.
So, as was the case last night, the Leafs have equalized as it's down into Buffalo territory. 25 seconds left in the period. A pass comes in front of the net. The shot taken there by Joshua, but it ramped off his stick and went up into the screen and out of play on another turnover by the Sabres right in the slot.
Leafs have got to get some momentum going here. As we said, Craig Brûlé did say last night that he was pleased with the effort, but once again, it's the defensive meltdowns that the Sabres were able to take advantage of and ultimately win the game.
Draw won by Buffalo. 16 seconds left in the frame. They give the puck away, and Waugh gets it ahead to Domi. Max is in on the left wing, and he made a move at the blue line, and his winger on the far side was offside. As Joshua couldn't hold the line. 10 seconds left in the period, Jimmy.
But even this opportunity that they would have had off the rush show is because everybody was back. You break up the play at your own blue line, and you counter. Use the transition game, and that's what the Buffalo Sabres have been doing to Toronto for the last 4 periods.
Draw one by Toronto. McCabe on the left wing will try to get a shot in at the net. Took a bit of a hit there from Connor Timmins, and the horn will end an eventful first 20 minutes of play.
Yeah, at least, you know, again, going back to last night, you're starting to see a little more effort where it's, you know, everybody's showing up. It's obviously not easy, and it's not one of these games where you're up 4-0 and you're just flying around. It's going to be a grind, especially with the likes of Willie Nylander out of the lineup. And you're going to probably have to score a lot of goals like Joshua did last night and like Nick Robertson did tonight, where it's going to be outworking your opponent in their zone. So that is a positive, I think, that is carried over from last evening. But Leafs are getting to the point of the season where you don't need moral victories anymore. You got to get 2 points in the standings. 2
power plays for the Maple Leafs that were brought to you by Subaru. This fall, uncommon comes standard with Subaru. We'll ship it off to Jim Taddy and Anthony Stewart. The Leafs and Sabres are tied at a goal. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Sean O'Brien, President and CEO of Reliance Home Comfort. At Reliance, we believe in Canadians helping Canadians. That's why we're offering you a deal.
Back for more, I see.
Trust can be a killer.
The ultimate battle of wits and deception, where every move could be your last.
The Traders Canada, all new Tuesday at 9:10 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.
About, yeah!
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in-app.
In Canada, opening a business bank account can take weeks. The fees on your account are endless, and your money earns nothing. Honestly, what the f***? We hear you, but your WTF is also why there's Float. Float is a complete finance platform with business accounts that open in minutes, charge 0 fees, and earn up to 4% interest. It's a business account that makes sense and money. So let's take back our WTFs and celebrate why there's Float. Open your account today at floatfinancial.com.
Hey, it's James Duthie for McAlpine Lincoln in Aurora. This fall, the season of change is upon us. And now, during the Lincoln Fall event, you can meet the moment at every turn with these great offers on 2025 Lincoln Navigator, Nautilus, Aviator, and Corsair models. Fall won't last long, and neither will lease rates starting at 1.99% APR for up to 48 months and a $1,500 conquest bonus on select 2025 Lincoln SUVs. Visit McAlpineLincoln.com to learn more.
Looking for more value at the pump? With a PC Financial credit card, you earn up to 7 cents per liter in PC Optimum points on all fuel at Esso and mobile stations, so you can get more points to redeem for more of the rewards you want. Apply today at pcfinancial.ca/Esso.
First up with Korolnik and Koliakovo, weekday morning 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Pass into the slot, a shot, and that caroms off the goalpost. And now we've got a fight going. Oh, what a right hand by McCabe. He flattens Tuck, who took exception to a hit on Bowen Byram. And Jake McCabe flattens him with a right hand.
Highlight of the period. It wasn't a pinch hit grand slam, but it was the Leafs version of that to date in the season. After 20 minutes is brought to you by Subaru. This fall, uncommon becomes standard. Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. It's tied at 1, Leafs in Buffalo. After 20 minutes of play, Molson Canadian Leafs hockey. Jim Taddy, former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. So let's go back to the fight. McCabe wipes out Byram, and then Tuck comes barreling in for a fight and gets greeted by a crunch on the jaw, and down he goes.
Yeah, we discussed the small things equaling big things, and I think that's probably one of the loudest the building has been this entire season. And again, McCabe is a veteran guy and understands those little things make a big difference. It starts with a huge hit on Byram, who had his head down on a little bit of an end-to-end rush there. And McCabe was ready, knowing that Tuck was coming in. And Tuck's a big, strong guy, not known for his fisticuffs, but he did the right thing in stepping up for a teammate. But McCabe was ready and sort of caught him, spun him around, and landed a big right hook that ended up being a TKO. And, so, again, typically in a season like this, you got to be careful hitting a guy in the neutral zone there. You don't want to get a penalty. He ends up doing the right thing, big hit, gets a power play, and not too much longer. After that, the Maple Leafs get back on the board. So, again, could this be the turning point, TSN turning point on the season? Maybe, maybe not, but it was a big, big impact on the game, and it wasn't a big rush, a big fancy-dancy, scoring chance. It was a big hit and a big fight, and sometimes those can be little things that turn a season around.
Also known as the Us Guy Rally.
Yes, that's trademark. Don't put that on a T-shirt, or you'll get sued. You'll hear from Taddy's lawyers there.
The LLC, alive and well. What I like about that is, Tuck got a misconduct and an instigator out of all that. So win-win for the Leafs. They out-hit them 9-3 in that period. Benoit stretched somebody out in front of the Buffalo bench, and I thought, sometimes you just have to do it. You could talk all you want, but just do it.
And it's very, very cliche talking about, you got to do shift by shift, but those little details equal big things at the game. And, what happens now? Toronto goes and scores another goal. Buffalo could say, you know what, we're getting out-hit. We're losing the face-off dot battle as well. So, you know what, let's now pack it in and go back and wait till next game. So you're almost going to take the will of your opponent away. But McCabe's got some vinegar that he's playing with. You saw OEL get involved. And again, they're tough to play against, and that's what you want. Win, lose, or draw. So say that ended up the game tonight. The fans could go home saying, hey, you know what, I saw a big, big fight. I didn't have to pay, $250 for a UFC ticket. I could get one here to watch that. So those are small things, and if I'm in that dressing room now, I'm amped up, I'm ready to go. If I wasn't ready to go, or I was thinking tonight's not my night, you're seeing McCabe, a veteran guy playing many games in the National Hockey League, dropping the gloves for his team, showing that he cares. Everyone else has got to carry their weight now.
Well, nobody expects their team to win every game. I think what you expect out of your team is, even in a loss, you emptied the tank. We're seeing that. And we talked about response, and I think we got it. The Thompson goal would have been a deflator just because bad zone coverage again, lateral pass in the net, but they did respond to that.
Yes, and, didn't spoil anything, but Primo was, he was overworked a little bit that period, but he had made some big, big saves. Easily could have been 2-1 or 3-1. He made some big saves for the Maple Leafs. And, again, it's just that awareness of coming back and sometimes you're thinking, okay, well, I'm here, and it's okay. I don't have to be fully in the lane, but I'm there. But it is a game of inches, and especially when you're struggling, those details have to be paid attention to a T. And, again, I think Domi missed his coverage trying to pass a guy off. But, again, I'll tell you, another left winger on the right side missing his assignment. It's very, very difficult. And, again, I urge the listeners to go and just sort of take a deeper dive into that, just how hard it is playing on your off wing. Yes, it's the National Hockey League, but it does affect you in the D zone. So, again, I think everyone's just got to have a little bit more gumption, a little bit more energy, and a little bit more attention to detail in that D zone, because Thompson's a guy that, that was his third of the season. This is the guy that can score 40. I'm surprised he's not at 8-9 with that release that he has.
Well, it seems like you're left-handed when you're right. Is that right?
Yes.
So write me a letter with your right hand. Tell me how easy that is.
Dear
yes
guy.
Yeah, that's a mess.
I think those look like hieroglyphics.
That's so bad it looks like my writing, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
I just think that if you're trying to recreate the game in your mind based on the box score, you'd look at it and go, well, big deal, it's 1-1. You're outshot 12-5. That might have been one of the better periods the Leafs have played in about a week.
It was, and they could have been up, right? They did have some opportunities on the power play. I'd like to see a little bit more emphasis on getting passes on the stick. They're missing them through the neutral zone or just off. But Matthew Nyes almost scored another goal for the season. Yeah. He was in front of the net. And, for me, I'd like to see a little bit more movement from John Tavares. Sometimes you get a little bit stagnant when you have the double stack in front of the net. I feel like, he's not being utilized a little bit more. But, again, last night he came out and got an assist on Matthews by coming out a little extra higher into the slot. But the power play did get some momentum. Buffalo didn't dominate in any sense of the word. So if I'm Toronto, it's a baby step in the right direction, and I'm happy after 20 minutes. But I'm amped up. I'm going in there, a high five in McCabe, and I'm coming out gangbusters this second period.
That's what I wanted to point out. I mean, we're talking about chemistry and character and all that. When McCabe's penalty was over, the Leaf bench stood up and wrapped the stick on the boards to welcome him back.
Yep, and again, when you win a fight like that, everyone's 2 inches taller, 20 pounds heavier, and it's contagious. When guys are engaged, it's contagious. So I'd like to see the response now, and I noticed Joshua getting in on the forecheck as well. Same thing with Wall. So you have the momentum going into the second period. How do you keep it? It's not necessarily about scoring another goal, but just continue building on those little small, fine details.
Let's talk about the goal briefly here. Robertson scores from Cowan and Matthews. A lot of power in that line.
Yeah, it started off with Matthews getting in there, not just coming off the left side trying to, get a squeaker. He takes it wide, cuts back, does a little bit of a power move into the corner, passes it off to Cowan, and Cowan has been head first going into the boards the whole entire year, and he makes a beautiful pass to Robertson. So I think that's now the maybe 35th goal of Nick Robertson coming out of the lineup, back into the lineup, scoring a goal.
Count on it.
But great release from him on his stick, off his stick. But it started off with Matthews, and that's what Matthews is starting to get into the trenches. He's got to continue to build on that, because sometimes when it doesn't work, you're like, yeah, you know what? I'll play a little bit on the perimeter. I'll let some shots go and get some volume from the outside. He dropped his shoulder, spin move, got below the dots, used his size and his his big frame, and it ended up ending the back of the net.
Stu, I don't even own a pair of dice. I'm not a bettor, but that would be a prop bet. Robertson back in the lineup. It's got to happen, right?
Yeah. That's a tough topic to be touching on right now. I know nothing of the sort. What are we talking about? What is that?
I threw the puck into the corner and asked you to get it, even though I knew you were going to get hit.
Yeah.
Sorry, guy. Anyway, tied at 1 after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Hi, can you tell me your price? Sound familiar? I'm Randy Hanatko from Train West Management and Consulting. Prospects ask, what's the price? You answer.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy comes 911 Nashville.
Ours is a family that is forged in fire.
Starring Chris O'Donnell. 911 Nashville, all new. Thursday, 9/10 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Introducing Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
Join me for an insider look on a wild ride through 40 years of global rock and roll.
Bryan Adams Radio. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app. Or ask your smart speaker to play Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio.
Who's ready to rock?
Kids wanna rock. And then you hear, thanks, I'll think about it. And guess what? They never call you back. Here's the trap. Get the information, get the price, get rid of the salesperson. Most salespeople fall right in. But the truth? Success isn't about how much you give, it's about how much you get. If you can say, I'd love to answer that, but first, can I ask you a few questions? You take control, engage your prospect, and keep the sale on your terms. At Train West Online Academy, we teach questioning strategies that actually work in real-world sales situations. Don't just answer questions, close more sales. If you're deadly serious about increasing your sales, visit trainwest.ca today to find out how Train West Online Academy can make you better, faster, and stronger. Go to trainwest.ca. That's trainwest.ca.
Pizzaville's got a really big special. Feed 4 or more for only $19.99 with Pizzaville's 3-topping extra-large pickup special. Bigger than 2 medium pizzas. No packing. Just Canada's newest and largest casino experience. Thousands of games, mouth-watering food, and live entertainment right here in your backyard. Go big, not far. At Great Canadian Casino Resort, Toronto. Visit gctoronto.com to learn more. Must be 19 plus. If you gamble, play smart.
Hockey. It's taken over our basements, our driveways, and our backyards. And at Rona, we wouldn't change a thing. That's why we make sure your home can take any hits hockey throws its way. So hockey can keep taking over your laundry rooms, your living rooms, your garages, your kitchens. Make sure your home is ready for hockey season with Rona. Build it right, build it Rona.
The out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go out of town for a great new Tundra or Tacoma. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have. Some already done, like the Flyers 4-3 in a shootout over the Islanders. Boston got by Colorado 3-2. It is 1-0 for Tampa over the Ducks at the end of the first period. Later on tonight, starting in minutes, Vegas in Florida against the Panthers. Also 6 o'clock start, Utah in Minnesota against the Wild. At 7, St. Louis and Detroit. After that, 7, Columbus in Pittsburgh. Same time frame, Ottawa and Washington. Montreal in Vancouver. At 8 o'clock, LA and Nashville against the Predators. Also at 8, Carolina and Dallas against the Stars. Edmonton at 10 o'clock in Seattle against the Kraken. And our game is tied at 1. Buffalo and the Leafs after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand. And go.
Yes!
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah!
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Peel like a winner, on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in-app.
What makes a house feel like home? The laughter, the late-night snacks, the memories, and the little heroes working quietly behind the scenes. Like a dishwasher so silent, you'll wonder if it's even on. A fridge that adapts to your family's changing needs. Always fresh, reliable. And a range that turns every dinner into a celebration. That's the power of Midea. Innovation, reliability, value. Discover your next amazing home appliance at midea.ca.
This year, the biggest Halloween party in Toronto will be going down at Scotiabank Arena. When Houston is in town to take on the Raptors on October 29th, we'll be transforming the...
Watch out. They're back.
I don't know why you treat me like the worst moving company in the region.
Get ready for a new season of the homegrown Crave original, The Office Movers.
All right, should we roll?
The hilarious hit series from creators Jay and Trey Richards.
We're building, we're elevating, we're moving up. New space, new contract.
You guys need to go. The client is freaking out.
Where is the elevator?
It's busted.
The Office Movers. New season Friday, November 7th. Only on Crave. Proudly Canadian. Subscribe now at crave.ca.
The biggest songs in the world. You've heard them countless times. Now, learn the details of how they came to be.
Join Ruby Carr for Encore, the stories behind the songs you love. New interviews and newly unearthed archive footage make for a fascinating weekly deep dive. Stream Encore, the stories behind the songs you love on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Want it.
Maple Leafs and the Sabres tied 1-1 in a first period that was highlighted by a one-punch knockdown of Alex Tuch from Jake McCabe, who had flattened Bowen Byram with a hit just seconds before.
And you do feel for Alex Tuch. I mean, he engaged with Jake McCabe and sort of seemed to lose his balance and spun around, and by the time he was facing Jake McCabe,
right into it. That wasn't fun. Leafs to the left and the Sabres to the right as they shoot it down into the Buffalo zone and around back of the net. Connor Timmins gets it ahead, and the Sabres skate it into neutral ice and flip it down into the Toronto zone. Played around into the near corner. Caden Primo playing tonight. And Dennis Hildeby has been brought up. He's the backup goaltender, so Anthony Stolarz is getting the day completely off. Down into Buffalo territory. Roy couldn't get it away from his man. Heads to the bench for a change, and the Sabres have it under control in their own end with Owen Power. Getting it up at center. Here's Thompson weaving in on the left wing, dropping it off for Benson. Played down around back of the net. Oliver Ekman-Larsson got there first to Nick Robertson. Robertson is able to get it off on the near wing for Myers, who returns the favor, and Robertson has room down the left wing. Into the slot it goes to Matthews. Matthews slides into the corner, ringing it around the boards to find OEL at the near point. Backhanded back into the corner again. Back along the boards, Matthews comes out of it now with a pass back out of the reach of Morgan Riley, and it slides all the way down into Toronto territory. Leafs looking for a long up, but it comes back in on the right side. McMahon in against the boards, given a hit there. The puck still in his skates. They dig it free. Matthews back to the point. Long shot, blocked in front. Then it rolled wide of the net into the far corner, and McMahon gets onto it quickly, but can't do much with it as he was double teamed over there. The Sabres have it back under control, back of their goal. Samuelson playing it into neutral ice. Leafs are back there to get it ahead to John Tavares. 498 career goals for Tavares as he works in over the line. Into the slot, got a shot, they score! Machelli off to the right wing side, and John Tavares' shot is redirected into the net for a 2-1 lead.
same end of the ice as his first goal as the lead for Machelli, and maybe just slightly more difficult. The first one was a great setup from Willie Nylander. This one is a great setup from John Tavares, who sifted his way into the middle of the ice and made a move to get around Matthias Samuelsson and then just slide it towards the near post where Machelli turned and chipped it past Pekka Luukkonen.
Machelli's second goal of the season and his third point. And the Leafs have a 2-1 lead.
First lead in over 4 periods for the Leafs against Buffalo.
Played down into the Toronto zone. Dished ahead and launched up ahead at center for Domi. He's across the line, looking for a trailer. Got it there to Yarncrook, who drops it back to the point. A shot went into the corner. Yarncrook trying to play it free, and it goes around back of the net. Zach Metza will get it out in center ice, and it's going to go over the boards and go out of play. And the Leafs with a 2-1 lead here in the period. And our congratulations we want to send out to Pete Weber and Terry Crisp, who are going into the Golden Hall. I guess it's kind of a Hall of Fame for the Nashville Predators. Kind of teasingly said to Pete Weber, you paid a lot more money to go to the Golden Dome when you were a student at Notre Dame. But two of our favorites.
Yes. I'm sure the video message we sent will make the evening worthwhile.
Well, let's hope. Sabres get it down into the Leaf end. Puck against the boards on the near corner. Now to the front of the net for Thompson. Big Patrick, the rebound is blocked in front. Matthews saves a goal, play a goal. He was in behind Primo and was able to block a shot as it comes in front of the net again. And a shot there by Power was deflected. Power with it again, cleared to the line but not out. Sabres pressing here for an equalizer. Primo made an excellent first save, and then Austin Matthews
was right behind him for the second one.
I'm not really sure that's how it's drawn up. Shouldn't you maybe be in front? Now the Leafs get a chance on the left wing, and a shot is gloved by Luukkonen, and he will hold on.
Well, we're going to take a look at that again. I mean, Tage Thompson tried to wrap the puck around the left pad of Primo, who got his skate to the post to keep it out. And then the rebound, Austin Matthews simply went right behind Primo to the goal line and stood there to make a huge stop. We mentioned Jake McCabe
credit for the save. Is that a block shot or is it a save?
Well, it's got to be a block shot.
No, but it's a save. He's in the net.
No.
Shouldn't he get credit for a save and a block shot?
No.
All right, then just take the save. It's more important.
Yeah, technically the blocks.
You are a hard ass on statistics. Yeah. I just know that for a fact.
Yeah, I've always been like that.
Left wing shot. Riley has it come to the side of the net. Luukkonen looking for it, but it's in back of the goal. Played up on the wing, and Riley is pinched in. Ooh, he took an elbow there from Beck Mallinston. And along on the near wall, the Sabres trying to maybe even the score in the physical department here on this shift. Puck against the boards in the near side. And a penalty coming for a cross-check in front of the net as Tavares got flattened. Leafs keeping the puck in, and it'll be touched now by Buffalo, and the guilty party is going to come in tow to the penalty box.
And you know what? This is very similar to the penalty that was called in the opening period. I mean, let's face it, there are a lot of cross-checks in front of the net, lower back to players. Just keep an eye on them, and I think Tavares going down is the reason it was called.
Cross-checking, and the Leafs go to the power play. It's brought to you by Subaru. This fall, uncommon comes standard with Subaru.
Yeah.
Well, it was the third or fourth one.
Yeah, but because of the balance of John Tavares, Joe, that didn't knock him over. He just thought, okay, I've had enough.
Pass down into the corner. The Leafs around back of the net. Domi cycles it back for Matthews. Matthews into the slot, and off his stick it's going to slide down into the Toronto zone, and Max Domi has to go back to retrieve it. Looks for Morgan Riley, and he'll find him on the right side. Riley, cross ice for Tavares. Tavares, cross ice to Domi, and on to the left wing side for Nyes. Back to Domi, and back to Riley at the blue line. Morgan Riley to Domi. Domi closes with a pass in front that deflects off a stick into the screen. With a minute 22 to go in the power play, and the face-off coming again in the Buffalo zone, and the Leafs making a change to send the second unit out here with a 2-1 lead.
Well, the difference a year and an injury makes, right? No Mitch Marner, no Willie Nylander. And you're looking at the second unit going, okay. You've got Michelli, Waugh taking the draw, Nick Robertson.
Draw one and a shot! And never mind, it was blown dead.
That was still a shot.
Well, no, not technically, because the linesman felt that the face-off wasn't done fairly.
Shots on goal are still favoring the Sabres heavily, 15-7.
Face-off won by the Leafs, played into the corner, but quickly then shot down the ice by Buffalo. Oliver Ekman-Larsson is back to retrieve it. Gets it up on the wing for Robertson. Robertson dishes it back, but Michelli was unable to handle the pass and has to skate back to retrieve the loose puck. Now he starts out of his own zone. dropping it off to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Roy got it across the line into the corner. Fed around the boards by Bobby McMahon. Trapped over there by Michelli and sent back to McMahon in the near corner. Sabres get to the loose puck, and they're going to get it elevated. Sent down on a bounce to the Toronto blue line. The Leafs trying to counter, and they get it across the line, but it went off the stick of McMahon. Robertson getting it back to the point. Here's Oliver Ekman-Larsson going to the left wing side. Michelli works into the slot. Got a wrist shot away, but it was ramped off a stick. And up into the screen, out of play with 25 seconds left in the power play. The number one unit coming back over the boards to finish this off.
Buffalo's been very aggressive on the penalty kill, haven't they? They haven't really let the Leafs pass it around or set up. They've been trying to force them every chance they get, but it does give an opportunity for the number one unit to come back out with the 25 seconds remaining in the penalty.
Matthew Nyes drew the other assist on the Michelli goal. At the point, shot by Riley went whistling wide. Here's Matthews getting it back to him at the blue line again. Off on the right wing side for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He doesn't shoot it. In front of the net for Matthews. He doesn't shoot it. Matthews on the near half boards. In front of the net, Tavares! Snapped it over top of the goal, but he was set up perfectly. Now here's Matthews in front for Tavares. Dished off from the wing for Riley. Penalty is over. Riley's around back of the net trying to center, and it was off a stick, but the Leafs are going to keep it in. Matthews kept it in momentarily, and it'll force the Sabres back into their own zone. What a chance that was in front. Owen Power plays down into the Toronto end. Primo playing it back into the corner for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and the Leafs will set up now back of the goal with Morgan Riley. OEL has difficulties on the near boards and the turnover. Here's the Sabres trying to come to the front. Another shot, scores! Oh, wow! A horrific giveaway by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Initial save made by Primo, but no chance on the rebound.
Leafs are going to look at this, though, Joe. Primo got bumped by the Sabre going to the net. After he threw it out front, he doesn't.
Oh,
he goes.
You're right.
He goes in on his own.
Benson.
Yeah, and Primo went sprawling because of that, and the puck was snapped in.
Coolidge gets the goal, but it was Benson who got the turnover. And I agree with you. He went right to the net, and Primo is interfered with.
But now the Leafs get to this point like they did against New Jersey, right? It's an important time in the game. I think you've got to.
I think you do as well. Yep. Discussion by the all-nice officials. There was goaltender interference. We have no goal.
All right.
Well, I didn't. Did they even go and look?
They didn't even have to challenge. They said it was with a discussion. So the Leafs, and I think especially
Oliver Ekman-Larsson
are relieved at this call. But it's very difficult to argue. Benson coming out from the goal line.
Oh, yeah, he shoulders him shoulder to shoulder and knocks him over, and he's not able to, and the Sabres aren't going to ask for a review on it either. Are they? Face-off will be outside the Toronto blue line. So the Leafs dodge a bullet there. But what a horrific giveaway. That doesn't change that part of it. Shot down into the Buffalo zone. Domi knocks it to the side of the net. Unable to control it, though, and the Sabres have pushed it out at center ice. Errant pass now by Toronto. And an icing call will send it back into the Leafs zone with 12:43 to go in the second period. The Leafs on the top of the scoreboard, 2-1. But the shots have doubled. Leafs with 7, Buffalo with 14.
The Leafs score 1 on 5 in the opening period and just 1 on 2 shots. Or 1 on just 2 shots here in the second.
Domi scrums the draw, but it comes back to Dahlin. Dahlin gets it around back of the net to the side of the goal. A shot. Smothering it, though, is Primo. A quick stick by Primo to pull it back, and now McCabe and Coolidge. And if Coolidge was paying attention, he might not want to get involved here.
Yeah. That little scrum might have ended with the, oh, it's you.
Oh, it's you?
Yeah.
I recognize you. Well, we've got a break in the action. 12:35 to play, second period this afternoon. 2-1 Toronto. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Why BDC for my business? The timing's right. Everything's in motion. Economy's changing. It's all about automation, AI. So I said to myself, take the plunge. Yes.
From unsolved mysteries to unexplained phenomena. From comedy gold to relationship fails. Amazon Music's got the most ad-free top podcasts. Included with Prime. Download the Amazon Music app today.
On the road to next summer's historic FIFA World Cup, TSN puts you on the pitch.
Not sure if they come any bigger than this.
Insight, analysis, and everything World Cup. Park the Bus Podcast every Tuesday. Available on TSN's YouTube channel.
Hear you, but your WTF is also why there's Float. Float is a complete finance platform with business accounts that open in minutes, charge 0 fees, and earn up to 4% interest. It's a business account that makes sense and money. So let's take back our WTFs and celebrate why there's Float. Open your account today at floatfinancial.com.
Hey, it's Joe Bowen. It's time to sell your car. What are you going to do? Sell it yourself online? Are you sure you want to deal with strangers and all the crazy offers? Dealerships? You're spending your weekend waiting around and negotiating. There's another option. I've heard people raving about it. It's called Clutch. They give you a real offer up front, locked in with no surprise fees. Then they come to your home, pick up your car, and pay you on the spot. So go to clutch.ca and see what your car's worth today. Why do I put up with you?
I forgot that was you doing the commercial.
Really?
Sorry. Sorry for
in future, hold your comments to yourself.
Sorry for telling Josh to turn that down.
You don't think I have feelings?
Yeah. Well, I did that. Exactly what the commercial said. Then I realized I was leasing the car and I had to get it back.
Draw to the right in the Toronto zone. 12:35 to play in the second period. The Leafs up a goal. Far side, trying to chop it up the boards with Dakota Joshua, but it didn't clear. And now Roy cycles it back around the boards to the near side. And here's Carlo with a long lead pass, deflected by Joshua just into the zone, but the Sabres are in control of the puck. Well, they were. And now forced back is Matthias Samuelsson. And now the Leafs trying to pick it away, but a long lead pass is volleyballed back out at center, and Thompson will send it right back down into the Leaf end. Sabres get a change going. Leafs trying to do likewise as it comes up for Roy. Right wing side, the big fella slides in on the right wing side, rolls it in on goal, and the attempted deflection there by Cowan didn't happen. Now back come the Sabres on the left wing. McLeod working down the boards and holding it off. McLeod sends it around back of the net, cut off there on the cycle by Benoit, and now Cowan will find an opening for defenseman Myers, who gets it ahead. Robertson ahead for Cowan, and it is shot in. Down the boards on the far side, Matthews after the puck, but it comes away on the near wing, and the Sabres will get it out into neutral ice. Matthews along with Robertson and McMahon, the forward line for the Maple Leafs. Robertson starts back to Matthews on the wing to Robertson on the right wing side with a shot. Oh, and Matthews tried to redirect that, but it went past him and just wide of the net. He'll get it back at center. Played off on the wing, and the Sabres send it down into the Toronto end. Primo along the boards and chopped to the line and out. And Matthews trying to set, or at least McMahon trying to settle a loose puck, but couldn't control it. Bowen Byram back on the left wing. Drops it back, long shot taken by Ostrom. Ostrud, and went off the pad of Primo. Another shot blocked there, and it comes to the near wing. Byram can't keep it in, and it's back out into the center ice area. Sabres send it back in on the right side, and Thompson is after that, but he won't reach it in time, and the Leafs start back up on the left wing. Nyes with a feed into the slot area. Michelli got the shot away, and a good save by Ukko-Pekka-Luukkonen as it comes around the boards to the near side, but not out. Sabres having difficulties on the near boards. Tavares punched it down, but couldn't get it in deep, and the Sabres have iced the puck. And it'll come all the way back into Buffalo territory. The face-off in the circle to the right. 10:02 to play in the second period. Got anything planned for tonight? Rearranging your sock drawer?
Yeah.
Or?
Heading home, and if the boy is there, I'm sure we're going to put on another sport.
Uh-huh. Oh, there's lots of college football to watch tonight.
Is that tonight? What about tomorrow? Well, you're going to Pittsburgh.
We're going to Pittsburgh to see the beloved Green Bay Packers and the Steelers. But, I think the baseball will take precedent tonight. Sabres work it in on the left wing. Thompson plays it into the corner, but Carlo got there first. And a nice feed to get it ahead and pushed out at center and launched in by Michelli, who heads to the bench. Riley in deep to play it around to the far side. Nice play by Thompson to elude one, but then can't elude the second one. Nyes and Yarncrook battle on the boards, but Thompson is able to finally dig it free, and he tries to play it ahead, but it's down to the side of the goal, and it's going to be covered up and then thrown aside. Interesting. Here's Yarncrook in on the right side, round back of the net. Looked like the officials were thinking we better hustle this along. I want to be able to buy some beer before the baseball game. Long shot. Luukkonen got a left pad in front of that. Puck in the corner, and now the Sabres send it up on the wing, and Josh Doan will send it to the line, but not get it in any deeper. Now here are the Leafs bringing it back the other way. Lorenz trying to drive in, got a shot away. Oh, and a good save made by Luukkonen, but an excellent play made there by the Leaf winger, and the Leafs get it in, and Raw tries to center. That comes into the slot area, bouncing puck. Sabres get rid of it, out and down the ice, and an icing call will come as the Leafs come close to extending their lead.
Well, you like the second effort, don't you? 3 shifts in a row now, the Leafs have been able to get it deep and cause some damage on the forecheck, forcing turnovers. Nothing clear-cut or pretty, but Steven Lorenz had a couple of great opportunities. Nick Waugh, almost a great setup as well.
Flashback. Looked like Paul Henderson trying to beat 3 Soviets.
Yeah.
Except he did score.
And that was a game winner, too, that one, wasn't it?
That was, yeah. That was in game 7. Yeah. Henderson said it was the greatest goal he ever scored. Played around back of the net. Pushed to the side of the goal by the Leafs, and then the Sabre falls down, allowing Matthews to the puck. He got it into the slot, but it was out of the reach of Robertson, and Buffalo will push it out into the center ice area. Matthews shoots it right back in again. Robertson striding in there after it as it's pushed around on the far side. Doan tries to work it up the boards, but can't. Leafs keep the puck in momentarily, but it'll go off a leg and come to center. Riley goes back to settle it down. Morgan Riley coming to the red line. Team needs a change of players, so he shoots it in. Luukkonen will leave it there with 7:45 to play in the period, and the Leafs holding a 2-1 lead over the Buffalo Sabres, trying to even this home-and-home series. Poked along the boards, but not out. Roy knocks his man down, but the puck is back of the Toronto goal. A centering pass off a skate. Goes back of the goal. Trying to work it out in front is done. And the Leafs get to it first. And Nyes will launch it high down into the center ice area. Sabres back to recover the puck. Played out at center ice for Bowen Byram across the line, and the linesman says that is offside. So a face-off is going to come in neutral ice when we return. 7:06 to play in the period. Goals from Robertson and Michelli have the Maple Leafs out in front, 2-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand. And go.
Yes!
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about.
From the legacy of Blue Bloods comes the next explosive police drama.
Stop where you are!
Donnie Wahlberg.
Detective Daniel Reagan.
Sonequa Martin Green.
Ready to run it back, Brooklyn?
Try and stop me.
Boston Blue. All new. Friday at 10/8 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Unmistakably
It's the music that raised you.
the artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada, the station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required, just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.
Help you understand your rights, and will fight to get you the compensation you deserve.
For over 50 years, Pregame has recovered hundreds of millions of dollars for injured clients and their families.
Let the Pregame family take care of your family.
Pregame 416-665-2000.
The best insight, analysis, and entertainment. Overdrive, weekday afternoons at 4 p.m. on TSN 1050.
Joe Bowen along with Jim Ralph. Alex Mandarino is producing. Our board op, Kerwin Boudelier. And Josh Lippa looking resplendent. Is that a new tie?
As always.
Is that a new tie? Looks very sharp.
The new tie?
Very sharp. Yeah. Very sharp. It's going to be a model, you know, once she gets through all of this kind of board op stuff. Sabres shoot the puck down into the Leaf end.
Do you have a particular product?
No, no. I was thinking
Mine?
Bardol. Dahlin being chased and hounded there by Tavares, but has got it to center ice and in across the line. He goes to the front of the net, but the pass was intended for Zach Benson, was deflected to the far corner. Now brought in now on the wing by Kulich with a shot. That was blocked in front of the net. Kulich taken to the boards by McCabe, has him pinned to the wall. Carlo knocks his man to the ice. The puck is wedged up against the end boards and finally dug free, and Nyes playing it ahead at center, and Tavares will get it out at center ice. Tavares taken to the boards with a pretty hefty hit there by Samuelson. Down into the corner it comes, and the Sabres get it out, and Thompson wheels back up ice, but Nyes is back checking, took it away from him. A couple of Arizona boys battling there. Now here is the Leafs in across the line with Benoit getting a shot away. That was stopped easily by Luukkonen. No whistle, it's thrown aside, and again, I think the officials have somewhere to go. Played down into the corner. McLeod to the Sabres, back to the point. Over on the near side for Byram. He returns it to his defense partner, gets it returned again, and now a shot in traffic, scores! Bowen Byram from the left point through a screen has tied the game at 2s.
4 players directly in front of the Leaf net. And the wrist shot from the left point gets first past Steven Lorenz and then through the maze in front of Caden Primo and beats him far side glove side. Just a perfectly placed shot with a lot of traffic in front. Everybody's got a man. But that wall in front of Primo provides a screen. I don't know if this bounces off anybody or in, but I mean this is almost impossible for that puck to get through, but it ties the game.
Played off a stick down into Buffalo territory, and an icing call is going to come here against the Maple Leafs with 5:25 to go. First of the year for Byram. And the face-off will come in the circle to the right in the Leaf end.
Craig Hartsburg would be pretty proud of that one, wouldn't he?
Yep.
Longtime Minnesota North Star defenseman who had a knack for threading the needle on those wrist shots from the point.
Well, and then he had that Cicerelli character deflecting them in all the time, too. But a wrist shot, right? Yep. I don't know if Craig really slapped the puck very up. Now a rolling puck in front was kicked away there by Primo. Another shot goes wide of the Leaf goal. Bouncing into the far corner. Sabres have it again and now trying to cycle the puck in along. They do. Back to the point of drive. Oh, wow. That blocked in front of the net by Yarncrook, and he is slow to get up. Puck is centered in front of the net. It'll come back to the point. Another drive. Whistles high. That bounces to the far side. Yarncrook is really in a lot of difficulty here as he deflects it out at center and is limping to the Leaf bench after blocking that shot. And we get an offside at the Buffalo blue line. One thing you don't want to do after you block a shot that hard is get in the way of another one. We've got a break in the action with the game tied at 2s. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
When you get into a new RAV4, you might suddenly find yourself camping, even if the closest you've been to nature is your houseplants. Because with all-wheel drive, you can...
Derry is a beautiful place, but things do happen from time to time.
Crave is the exclusive home of groundbreaking HBO originals, including It, Welcome to Derry, the much-anticipated new series from the world of Stephen King. Go back to where it all began.
There's something bad here in Derry.
It, Welcome to Derry, streams October 26th, only on Crave. Subscribe now at crave.ca.
The biggest songs in the world. You've heard them countless times. Now, learn the details of how they came to be. Join Ruby Carr for Encore, the stories behind the songs you love. New interviews and newly unearthed archive footage make for a fascinating weekly deep dive. Stream Encore, the stories behind the songs you love on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Thank you for calling Spectrum. My name is Angie, and I'm in Orlando, Florida. How can I help you today?
Great. You're still there. It must be like 3 a.m.
We're always here 24/7. What can I do for you?
I know it's late, but I wanted to ask you about the best place to set up my router.
It's never too late. We'll have you up and running in no time.
Only Spectrum has 24/7, 100% US-based customer support. It's only everything. Spectrum fiber-powered internet. It's the fastest and most reliable internet. Go to spectrum.com to learn more.
Michelli scored in the second for the Maple Leafs to take a 2-1 lead. Byram has scored from Timmins and McLeod to tie the game. Matthews line out. Robertson along with McMahon cleared down into the zone. McMahon will get to it, trying to poke it past Luukkonen, but failing. And Thompson sends a left wing feed, and out come the Sabres to get it in on the left wing. Benson down into the left wing corner, turned away, and the Leafs start back the other way. Left wing side for Robertson. Robertson stops up. Robertson working back to the blue line. A pass for Matthews was in behind him, and the Sabres are able to knife it down on the left wing as Zach Benson gets it into the zone. Robertson's diligent back checking, though, was able to knock it away, but the Sabres maintain possession now to get it on the wing. Around back of the net to the far side. Thompson couldn't find it, and McCabe has launched it high to center ice, and the Leafs come away with it. Here's McMahon in over the line. In the midst of a line change, he's surrounded down in the corner and couldn't do much with it. The Sabres have played it out at center ice. Myers goes D to D, and Benoit. Nice pass to find Roy in on the right side, and a loaded up wrist shot ends up going off a stick and up into the screen, out of play.
You and I were saying during the commercial break that this Leaf team is going to have to adopt a slightly different identity, that they may not be the offensive powerhouse that we've seen in recent years, obviously with the loss of Mitch Marner, and understanding that Willie Nylander is not in the lineup either.
Well, Nylander has had a wonderful start to the season. 3 goals, 11 assists, 14 points. Among the league leaders. And the Sabres have sent a long alley-oop down into the Toronto zone, forcing Benoit back. He skates it up the right wing boards, got it off a skate to center. Sabres turn it back the other way. Tuck trying to work in on the wing, can't get around his man. And now here's the Leafs trying to play it free, and they'll get it out into the center ice area. Sabres back into neutral ice. Tuck across the line with a pass into the slot, trying to work around the defense. Good play by OEL to tie up the man's stick, and it is played by Tavares out at center ice. Cowan trying to knife it in over the line, just failed to get it freed up as he had Roy arriving on the scene, but now an interference call is coming.
And who's it against? The Leafs touched that when the whistle went?
I think it's Oliver Ekman-Larsson who's going to get the penalty.
That was well behind the play.
Number 95, 2 minutes for interference. That is the third power play opportunity for Buffalo coming as a result. I did not see it.
Well, we're looking again. You know, this is not a smart penalty. It's a cross check. They're going to call it. Oh, might have been a second hit.
Way behind the play.
So far behind the play.
Yep.
I mean, in a 2-2 game, one of your veteran players.
Draw to the right. Well, it hasn't been a good period for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He coughed the puck up under strange circumstances. Sabres scored, but only goaltender interference denied the goal from counting.
And he had the giveaway last night on the shorthanded goal late.
Leafs turn the puck over in the neutral zone, and now a 2-on-1 break going the other way. Matthews in with a pass into the goal crease, and a roll to the near side, and Luukkonen just did get a glove on it before Matthews was going to be there to pound it into the net.
Really, because Matthews had 2 Sabres converge on him. He really didn't have an opportunity to load up and shoot that. Coming down the right wing side, left-handed shot. Made the right choice. Get it on the backhand and try to zip it across the top of the crease to Nyes, but it was intercepted.
Minute 35 to go in the penalty, 2:23 to go in the second period. Leafs win the face-off, and they'll play it out at center. And Jake McCabe will get it up on the wing, and Matthews trying to work, or at least Roy trying to work on the right wing boards, is able to push it down into Buffalo territory, dragging it along the wall until it finally is knocked free, and Tuck takes it around back of the net. Tuck gets it up on the wing for Bowen Byram. Drop for Tuck. He's completed finishing his misconduct penalty, and a pass is redirected by the Leafs back into the center ice area. Penalty killing has been at least something the Leafs have been able to hang their hat on. And now here's a break that just unable to reach it in time was Lorenz, or he might have been away to the races. Sabres back into the slot area, pass into the corner, knocked away by Steven Lorenz, and he gets it to center and bounces it down into Buffalo territory. Leafs have given up 4 goals in 24 opportunities now, with the Sabres having 28 seconds left in this. Benson to the line, fired around the boards to the far side. Game tied 2-2. Sabres in the corner, back of the net for Thompson. Thompson off on the wing, grabbed off by Benson. Benson works down into the corner, back to Thompson. Less than a minute in the period. Back to Thompson, one-timer coming, and he whistled it high and wide, and it explodes off the glass and comes to center ice. Sabres playing it ahead as the penalty box door opens, and OEL has escaped, and the Leafs are 3 for 3 in the penalty kill. Their last 5 games, they've given up 2 and 11 times short, so add 3 more to that here this afternoon. Or is it tonight?
Good evening.
All right, fine. Round back of the net, Myers pounds it off the glass, but it was knocked down by the Sabres, and a glove pass will stop play with 19.1 seconds remaining in the period.
Not quite with the back-to-back games, not quite like it was in the 80s, was it, when you had Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, sometimes playing back-to-backs. There were a lot of fights that bad feelings carried over from one night to the next.
Leafs get it down into the Buffalo zone. Nyes into the forecheck, but it comes around to the near wing and is quickly played out and down the ice. And Riley will make sure that an icing is called, despite the efforts of Beck Mallinston to get down there to deny it.
Well, Leafs appear to be 2 goals better heading into the third period than they were last night. They had some looks here in the second period, but not a lot of clean-cut plays. Right? More scrambles in front.
6 seconds left in the period. Sabres win the draw, and the time will run out as they carry it into their corner. So, 2 goals in the first period, 2 goals in the second period. And both teams have scored, and so it is a 2-2 tie after 40 minutes of play.
Kind of disheartening how the Buffalo Sabres are able to tie it. I mean, it feels like a nothing play. It's a wrist shot from the left point, gives past Kelly Yarncroc, who's up high, and then you had a maze of 4 players standing right in front of Caden Primo, and somehow it gets through. So you feel like you've worked so hard to be able to come back and get the lead, and one floater from the point has eyes. And if when you come out of a slump, very seldom is it going to be pretty, but Leafs are going to have to try their way to slug through a third period here to get 2 points.
Leafs outshoot the Sabres 10-6 in the period, but they surrender a goal to tie after taking the lead early on. 2-2 after 40. We've got Anthony Stewart joining Jim Taddy. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
With a Subaru, a vehicle that's built to last comes standard. Heated front seats? Standard. High ground clearance? Standard. Eyesight driver assist to help spot the scooter delivery guy texting, merging it.
On the road to next summer's historic FIFA World Cup, TSN puts you on the pitch.
Not sure if they come any bigger than this.
Insight, analysis, and everything World Cup. Park the Bus podcast every Tuesday. Available on TSN's YouTube channel.
Introducing Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
Join me for an insider look on a wild ride through 40 years of global rock and roll.
Bryan Adams Radio. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app. Or ask your smart speaker to play Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio.
Who's ready to rock?
Kids wanna rock.
Always over-delivers. You've got to be 6,500 hospital staff, 1,000 doctors, all doing so much with so little. You've got to be Scarborough. Defined by our uphill battle and always striving towards new heights. And you can help us keep climbing. Donate at lovescarborough.ca.
In Canada, opening a business bank account can take weeks. The fees on your account are endless, and your money earns nothing. Honestly, what the We hear you, but your WTF is also why there's Float. Float is a complete finance platform with business accounts that open in minutes, charge 0 fees, and earn up to 4% interest. It's a business account that makes sense and money. So let's take back our WTFs and celebrate why there's Float. Open your account today at floatfinancial.com.
Wendy's most important deal of the day has a fresh lineup. Pick any 2 breakfast items for $4. New 4-piece French toast sticks, bacon or sausage wrap, biscuit or English muffin sandwiches, small hot coffee, and more. Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Taxes extra.
Face Off Inside the NHL returns, taking you deeper behind the scenes than ever before. See it all from the star-studded 4 Nations Face Off tournament.
Us against the world, boys.
To the adrenaline of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I'm scared of you guys.
With candid interviews and backstage access, experience the sacrifice, the rivalries, and the determination that define NHL greatness.
Just when I thought last year couldn't be topped, here we are.
A new season of Face Off Inside the NHL. Watch now only on Prime Video.
At Conestoga Farms, our eggs are more than just eggs. They're a promise from local farmers to you.
Local is near and dear to my heart.
Local means fresh.
For our golden yolk eggs, we feed our hens a natural diet, including marigolds, a natural source of lutein, so the yolks are rich, golden, and full of nutrients.
There's a great sense of pride in being able to feed our own family a product that we've raised.
Feed your family like we feed ours with Conestoga Farms golden yolk eggs, because local matters.
With most Subaru models, all-wheel drive comes standard. Heated front seats, high ground clearance, Apple CarPlay, standard. Eyesight driver assist to help when you're distracted by fall foliage, standard. Guy announcing the radio ad now wanting a Subaru? Yeah, standard. Subaru. Uncommon comes standard. Hurry into your local Subaru dealership today for lease rates from 1.99% for 24 months on select models and get great value that, you guessed it, comes standard. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Hey, seriously, can I get one?
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream your favorite shows in your car. Available on Apple CarPlay via the iHeartRadio app. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
498 career goals for Tavares as he works in over the line. Into the slot, got a shot, they score! McKelly off to the right wing side, and John Tavares' shot is redirected into the net for a 2-1 lead.
2-1 at that point. 2-2. Sabres and Leafs after 40 minutes of play. TSN after 40 brought to you by 241 Pizza. Order 241's one large pizza, 2 toppings for $12.99 deal today. Call 241-0241 or order online at 241pizza.com. Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. 2-2. Sabres and Leafs, as I said. Jim Taddy, former NHLer Anthony Stewart with you. Stu, the scores, tied. There's plenty of hockey left. The Leafs could well win this game, but I thought there was a dip in performance and energy in the second period.
Yeah, it started off really good. I think they dominated probably the first half of that second period. But as you said, the sort of wind came out of their sails. But it started off, you want to start periods on time, and they did with Michelli scoring a great goal on an effort by Tavares, sort of, cutting in through traffic and sort of shooting it off his stick into the net. But, after that, they sort of just lost that momentum that they generated, right? They had a power play that was okay. They had a couple chances here and there. Then they started taking penalties, and then on that goal against by Bowen Byram, I'm not sure if the listeners sort of understood what happened there. Benoit went for a rush. He actually chipped it in on net. The goalie smothered it. And if he would have stopped, they probably would have blew the whistle down. Instead, he did a big loop. They kept the play alive. They went down, and within 12 seconds, that puck is in the net. So, again, it's a small little detail, and that, there's a couple things that happen after that, but it's the details that I think and the fundamentals that is sort of plaguing the Toronto Maple Leafs at this point. They have to shore it up. So instead of being down to up 2-1, it is tied, but again, they have the ability to take over this game. Just those details need to be there for the final 20 minutes.
Seem to just need to step it up, right?
Yeah, but when they had success, right, it wouldn't be a one and done. It wouldn't be one line going over the boards having success and then now 2-3. They had 2-3 shifts. They put 2-3-4 shifts together. They have to continuously do that. So sometimes you just got to get on the same page, but just sort of stick to the game plan. It just seems 4 different lines have some different game plans each time they're out there. But again, it's a lot better than what it was. But again, we're talking about this team taking the next step and finding ways to win games, not finding ways to lose games, which has sort of been the MO the last couple weeks here.
So let's go to the other side of the ice. What's Buffalo doing that's helping them?
They're doing a good job stretching the zone. They're skating. They're moving their feet. They're playing physical, right? Tage Thompson's leading the way. I believe he has 4 shots on net. He's all over the ice. Great job by Tuck. Tuck sat, pretty much half that 2 periods.
Yeah.
And he comes out, makes something happen, boxes out Benoit before Byram gets it on net. So they're doing those fundamentals. They're getting the pucks to the net. They're getting in the corners. They're winning their battles. They're paying attention to those small little details. They're doing a good job blocking shots, insulating their goalie as well, too. But ultimately, I think they have the just sort of the game plan to move your feet, outwork your opponent, win your small little battles, right? So collectively, when you do that, you sort of find ways to get back into games. And, they were called out by their coach. He called them out saying there's too many 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s. This was 2-3 weeks ago, and they shored up those details, and that's why they're in games going into the third period.
Sometimes the box score will tell you something, sometimes it doesn't. If I look for the most industrious player on both sides in terms of offensive involvement, Tage Thompson has 4 shots and another 6 that didn't get through for 10 attempts. And as I go down on the Leafs list, it looks like it's John Tavares. 3 got through and another 3 didn't. I mean, and those 2 guys, if I said who are the most active forwards, it'd be both those guys, right?
Yeah, and, good job on Tavares, right? Again, he scored many goals. He's been in the league for a while. I think he was there when I was there, 12, 14 years ago, and he's still finding a way to be effective. And again, he's not the fastest guy. He's a guy that's, finding a way to get involved and doing those little details, but same thing with Thompson. I'd say Thompson's probably the best player on the ice, maybe next to Dahlin, and he's just so big, uses the size, boxes guys out, but gets to the net as well, too. So the good positive part for Toronto, it's not their A-plus game. I think it's a B game for them, but they're now setting themselves up for success now. If they get a power play, you got to draw a couple of power plays, but you got to have your big guy stepping up. Matthews got involved a little bit more there.
Yeah.
But again, if I'm him, he's got to win those individual battles against the other team's top stars. There shouldn't be any nights that we're talking about Tage Thompson and Austin Matthews. That's how it should be.
Yeah, well, so Austin Matthews' line, 1 shot got through, 5 others didn't. So, I mean, he's around. In terms of his game, how would you rate it so far?
When you
for the whole season to this point.
When you talk about, there's been discussions, is he a top 3 player, top 5, top 10, but I'll tell you this, there's guys that are in the conversation for top 50 that dominate, and that's what I want to see. I want to see him dominate, right? And I think that's sort of what's missing in his game. Not saying he's coasting, but again, he's just sort of going with the flow. And I'll tell you this, the superstars in the league and the ones that are, perennial Stanley Cup contenders, they are the hardest working guys on the ice. So I think for him, on the offensive end, I think I need to see a little bit more harder work, get to the dirty areas, and shoot the puck. He has the ability. Remember before on the score clock, on the box score, you'd see 8, 9, 10 shots at times too. Let that thing rip. It's like a home run hitter. When you're in a slump, just keep firing the puck. But yes, he does have 5 goals in 8 games. A couple are empty netters. But I want to see that domination. I want to see him elevating and being the pilot, not the co-pilot or the deadhead for our plane fans out there.
Or the navigator.
Yes, or the aviators, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we covered it all, guys. So 2-2 after 40 minutes of play. What do the Leafs have to do to win this game?
I want to see they got to have a 30 spot at the end of the night here. So they need 14-plus shots, get to the net, second and third opportunities. There's been a lot of one-and-dones, and that's why Buffalo's able to stretch the zone out, because they're going in, they get a shot on net, and they're not retrieving the puck. So go in, let the glass rattle, make some plays, but again, second and third opportunities, but 14, 15 shots at a minimum to have a chance to win tonight.
Thanks very much, Stu. Tied at 2, Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres after 40 minutes of play. Shots on goal. Let's see, Primo has stopped 16 of 18 at the other end. Pekka Luukkonen has stopped 14 of 16. Sums it up. We'll come back with the out-of-town scoreboard. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeart Radio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Hockey. It's taken over our basements, our driveways, and our backyards. And at Rona,
CTV News is Canada's #1 news. Nationally, locally, online, and on the go.
We begin tonight with breaking news.
Trust CTV News. Now, more than ever.
Life tests homes. CertainTeed Roofing and Siding makes sure they're ready. So you're built for stormy seasons. Built for what's next. Built for this. CertainTeed. Built for this.
Seasoned gamer or just video game curious? This Week in Gaming is the podcast for you. We break down the latest in the world of video games, from basics to beyond. The hottest gaming news, insight, and industry leaders and more, weekly. Join me, Naomi Kyle, and stay ahead of the game with all the latest updates, even if you're a total newbie. Stream This Week in Gaming on the free iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Canada, all new Tuesday at 10 on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Why BDC for my business? The timing's right. Everything's in motion. Economy's changing. It's all about automation, AI. So I said to myself, take the plunge. Yes, I need a loan, but I also need a hand from a partner who's truly working with me, helping me no matter what comes next. Not later. Now.
Get ready for what's next. With BDC, you get financing and advice adapted to your projects. Discover how at bdc.ca/financing. BDC. Financing, advising, know-how.
Wendy's most important deal of the day has a fresh lineup. Pick any 2 breakfast items for $4. New 4-piece French toast sticks, bacon or sausage wrap, biscuit or English muffin sandwiches, small hot coffee, and more. Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Taxes extra.
The No Frills Deals for Days event is on. Get select varieties of Nescafe and Taster's Choice Instant Coffee for $6.44 and earn 1,000 PC Optimum points until October 29th. No Frills won't be beat. Find a lower price and we'll match it. See flyer or visit nofrills.ca for details.
I am a CHAMP, a member of the Warham's Child Amputee Program.
CHAMP helps amputees like me.
Through CHAMP, I get the artificial limbs I need to participate in everyday activities.
I'm always growing, so I always need new devices.
Support and helpful information on living with an amputation is available to me anytime.
I love being a CHAMP. I get to meet other kids that are just like me.
It's your donations that make the Warham's CHAMP program possible. Thank you.
Fall rollbacks are on now at Walmart, and you can save both in-store and online. Save $151 on a 200-gram bag of Ruffles, now only $2.96 each. Shop more fall rollbacks at Walmart today.
Out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Maple Toyota. You don't have to go to town for a great new Tundra or Tacoma. Maple Toyota has them in stock and ready to deliver. Visit mapletoyota.com. Earlier today, Flyers 4-3 over the Islanders. That's done in a shootout. Boston got by Colorado 3-2. End of the second period, 3-1. Tampa over the visiting Anaheim Ducks. End of the first period, Florida 1-0 over Vegas Golden Knights. End of the first period, Utah 3-1 over Minnesota Wild, getting set to start in mere moments. St. Louis in Detroit, Columbus in Pittsburgh, Ottawa in Washington, Montreal in Vancouver, starting at 8, LA and Nashville, also at 8, Carolina and Dallas, and at 10 o'clock the nightcap, Edmonton in Seattle against the Kraken. In our game, it's tied at 2 after 40 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
This ascent isn't for everyone.
You need grit to climb this high this often.
You've got to be an underdog that always over-delivers.
You've got to be 6,500 hospital staff, 1,000 doctors, all doing so much with so little.
You've got to be Scarborough.
Defined by our uphill battle and always striving towards new heights.
And you can help us keep climbing. Donate at lovescarborough.ca.
When's the best time to buy a new Volkswagen? Right about now. The Volksfest sales event is here. Finance all 2025 Volkswagen models.
From the legacy of Blue Bloods comes the next explosive police drama.
Stop where you are!
Donnie Wahlberg.
Detective Daniel Reagan.
Saniqua Martin Green.
Ready to run it back, Brooklyn?
Try and stop me.
Boston Blue. All new. Friday at 10, 8 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Introducing Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
Join me for an insider look on a wild ride through 40 years of global rock and roll.
Bryan Adams Radio. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app. Or ask your smart speaker to play Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio.
Who's ready to rock?
Kids wanna ride. You're spending your weekend waiting around and negotiating. There's another option. I've heard people raving about it. It's called Clutch. They give you a real offer up front, locked in with no surprise fees. Then they come to your home, pick up your car, and pay you on the spot. So go to clutch.ca and see what your car's worth today.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand and go.
Yes!
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah!
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable while you transfer. See rules in-app.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream your favorite shows on your smart speaker. Simply tell your smart speaker to listen to TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it.
Back here with the Maple Leafs and the Sabres tied at 2s. And if you take a look at the NHL standings in the Eastern Conference, you see the Buffalo Sabres are third in the Atlantic Division with 8 points. The Leafs have 7.
Well, Buffalo lost the first 3 games of the regular season.
Yes.
Apparently the first game, which was a shutout loss at home to the New York Rangers. There were jerseys being tossed onto the ice. And
Montreal leads the division with 12 points. Detroit with 10.
Detroit's kind of stepped back after a decent start.
Patrick Laine is out for 3 or 4 months with a abdominal issue that is requiring surgery. We're ready to go with the third period. The Leafs to the right, the Sabres to the left. A 2-2 tie. And the puck is dropped, and we're underway. Stepping up and shooting it in. The Leafs get it down into the Buffalo zone. It's cleared back out at center. And back to retrieve it. And getting the pass ahead was Leaf defenseman Myers, but it goes into the Buffalo bench and out of play, and the faceoff coming in the center ice area.
They've had some fisticuffs, some physical play in this game. really hasn't been a lot of flow, has there?
No. And there really hasn't been any payback either as far as McCabe is concerned. And the Sabres got a guy down the hall. Here's Matthews against the boards, playing it back at the net. Trying to work in front is Robertson, still with it at the side of the goal, but couldn't get it out in front of the goal. And it's cleared to the line, but not out. Now a wrist shot in traffic is caught off the chest by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Rob Ray might have taken exception to that.
I just was chatting with him between periods.
He is a delight, isn't he?
I first got to know him when he was coming up through the Sabres system in the American League with the Rochester Americans. He said that I said that he shot a puck and I caught it and it hurt my hand. And I told him not to shoot it so hard. I don't recall a lot of when I played.
Centering pass in front went off a skate down in the Sabres end. Michelli back to the point. Riley mishandled the puck but is able to recover it. Sends it back from whence it came. Tavares doing a job along the boards but unable to get a stick on it. And the Sabres are going to break it out at center. To the line and in. Right wing side. Down into the corner is Ryan McLeod. McLeod gave the puck away, and Riley gives the puck away at the side of the net, and then a pass intercepted by Tavares and backhanded high to the line and in.
You don't want to be an exciting defenseman in your own end.
Played off the boards to center. It is a game of mistakes. The team that makes the fewest usually comes out on top. Now the Leafs get it in on the left wing, but out of the reach of Domi. He's able to get to it in on the end boards, but can't make a play. Kept along the boards end by the Leafs. McLeod comes back to the point. Long shot blocked by the defense in front of Luukkonen. And the Sabres are going to get it up on the right wing side, and Jack Quinn will play it down into the Leaf end, and Domi goes back for it. To center ice, McCabe flips it into the zone. Lorenz unable to pressure the puck, and the Sabres get it out on the wing, and Quinn gets it to the Leaf blue line, only to have it intercepted there. And Cowan flipping it back in over the line, trying to get a shot away there was Joshua, but it is sent wide of the net. Cowan forces it deep. Roy into the forecheck, but the Sabres get it out at center. Knocked off a stick and played back into neutral ice. So far, a lot of jabbing, but no knockout punches thrown. Along the boards, flipped out at center by Cowan. Ottawa couldn't get to it. Leafs trying to change. Shot into the Toronto zone, and it is spun around the boards by Caden Primo. Myers will play it back of the net to his defense partner, and out comes Benoit. Benoit, left wing feed for Matthews. Matthews in with a shot, and that was gloved, snapped out of the air by Luukkonen. And he'll stop play with 16:51 to go in the third. Game tied 2-2.
A quiet crowd, too, hasn't it?
Since the fight, yeah.
Yeah, other than the one-punch drop by Jake McCabe on Alex Tuck. Alex Tuck I've got a soft spot for because he talked about how much he idolized Rick Jeanneret growing up in the Buffalo area.
Yep.
And said that he was the most thrilled for his father that his father was going to be able to meet Rick Jeanneret.
Well, he would have had an interesting conversation, wouldn't he? Ricky was a very special person. O'Reilly's shot didn't make it through off a face-off win, and the Sabres have pushed it down into the Toronto end. Thompson pressuring Riley, who banks it around the boards to his defense partner. Played ahead to McMahon, who got it in over the line, but too far for Robertson. Now Robertson gets his stick in the way as it's knocked down into Toronto territory. Oliver Ekman-Larsson up on the wing, but Matthews couldn't get it away from the Buffalo player. Benson plays it around back of the net, near side for Connor Timmins. Timmins back to the point. Thompson having difficulties with it, but is able to get it into the far corner. Matthews comes away with it and is going to skate it out. No, he's going to circle back. Leafs are in the midst of a change as he heads to the bench. Morgan Riley. A pass up the middle. Tavares had it glance off his stick into the near corner in the Buffalo end. Now after it is Tavares up against the boards. Played in back of the net. The Sabres have it there. Power will skate it out at center. He'll hit the Leaf line on the left wing and then rattle it around the boards to the near side. Upended there on a hit was Jake McCabe. The puck comes free into the corner. Sabres center, but it comes back to the point of drive. And that went off a leg and went wide. Dahlin getting into Power again. Here's Power working in with a shot. Gloved by Primo. The first shot broke the stick of Matthias Maccelli. And Primo, realizing that they were playing a man short, was thankful that he was able to catch that and hang on.
Pushed by the Sabres here in the third. Maybe the most important thing for the Leafs was being able to survive the second, where they have been horrid this year, including being outscored 2-0 against Buffalo last night. Gave up 4 to New Jersey. Gave up 3 in the second period to the Detroit Red Wings. (14-5). The Leafs have been outscored in the second period this year.
Played around the boards down into Buffalo territory. And it comes through center and in on the right side into the Leaf zone. Tuck Zucker trying to get around back of the net. Has it at the far half boards, but his pass was intercepted. And Yarncrook got it ahead. And it is played by Lorenz down into Buffalo territory. Bowen Byram sends it off on the left wing. And it is deflected down into the Toronto zone. Shots favor no one. 19 apiece. The Leafs have come a long ways to equalize in that department. They were badly outshot in the first period. Brought back by the Sabres, a pass into the slot area. Cowan turns the puck over, but now the Leafs can't get to it as it's into the corner and back of the net. Around back of the goal and back to the blue line. Kept in there and a pass now by Owen Power, dropping it off and a wrist shot in traffic went high and wide. Krebs on the far side gets it back to the point to Timmins. Connor Timmins holding and twisting and turning. Sent it in along the boards. Leafs trying to pry it free, but it goes around back of the net. Myers ties his man up. Roy helps out. Sabres knocked down on the play. The puck finally squirts free. And against the boards, Roy battles in along the wall, doing a nice job, but it comes back to the blue line. Timmins keeping it in, and the pass on the left wing side. Penalty coming to Toronto. Into the corner it goes. Timmins with a shot, and it deflects up into the screen.
Another cross check.
The crowd is, you're hearing the crowd go because they got the wave going, but that is not the celebration of a penalty here against the Maple Leafs. So the Leafs will be a man short for the 4th time in the game. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Did you know that the key to a smoother ride, enhanced safety, and better handling is right beneath you? Tires are crucial for your car's performance. That's why Chrysler Dodge
Canada, Crave is now the exclusive streaming home of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Let me hear you if you want to win.
2 of the most iconic game shows in television history.
You never know what's going to happen around here.
Stream new seasons next day on Crave.
I'm excited already.
Plus, dive into a massive library of classic episodes, which include Canadian legend Alex Trebek.
Answer. Daily Double.
Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
The biggest songs in the world. You've heard them countless times. Now, learn the details of how they came to be. Join Ruby Carr for Encore, the stories behind the songs you love. New interviews and newly unearthed archive footage make for a fascinating weekly deep dive. Stream Encore, the stories behind the songs you love on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Of Canadians, generation after generation, Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass or cup or whatever you pour your Molson in, because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Canadian, export, ultra, excel, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
First up with Korolnik and Koliakovo. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last. Play of the game for the Buffalo Sabres. Benoit for cross-checking is the call. Matthews will face off against Jason Zucker. And the draw won by the Leaf forward, but the Sabres get onto the puck in the corner and play it around back of the net. Nyes hustling after it, but won't be able to come up with it as it comes to the blue line, and Tag Thompson keeps it alive for Buffalo. Round back of the net. Carlo got the puck free into the near corner. The Leafs trying to get to it in time, but can't get it out. At the blue line, Dahlin over on the left wing side, a pass back into the slot. Dropped off now for Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin in the slot, off onto the left wing side. The Leafs have looked like they've had 2 or 3 chances to get the puck out, but failed. Now a centering pass, stop, scores! Loose puck in front of the net, and Tag Thompson snaps it home. And the Sabres, for the second time in the game, have a 1-goal lead.
First shot was blocked in front, and I'm not sure if Caden Primo, Joe, picks this up or not, because he ends up going down in the butterfly and spread well out, and this just slips 5-hole along the ice between his legs as Thompson grabs the rebound, spins, and fires it. Because you would think, you got to seal that bottom part of the net off and find some space. Jake McCabe was in front. He tried to block it as well. It went under McCabe, under Primo, and a penalty has finally cost the Leafs, and back down by 1 here in the third.
Second goal of the game for Thompson, his 4th goal of the season. And the Leafs trail for the second time in the game, now 3-2. Pass out at center, shot back in on a delay by Buffalo. Morgan Riley will clear it to center, and the Leafs try to send it in over the line, and now backhanded in by Michelli, but no one there, and it is played right back out at center, and Tuck sends it down into the Toronto zone. Up on the wing, and now looking for the pass, and it comes ahead to OEL with a rink-wide feed off Michelli's skate and down deep into Buffalo territory. Michelli won't get there to keep the puck in, but it does come to the blue line, and the Leafs do restore it. Now to Tavares. Sharp angle shot, and Luukkonen down to cover up on it, and he will hold. He is 0-5-1 lifetime against the Maple Leafs with a 4.56 goals against average. He backstopped Finland to the World Junior Championship while winning the Ontario Hockey League's Most Valuable Player Award as a member of the Sudbury Wolves.
Well, he has not really been tested tonight, has he? I mean, I'm not sure you could come up with 2 or 3 difficult stops the Leafs have forced him to make.
20 shots apiece at this point. Matthews wins the draw, sends it in front of the goal, but unexpecting that was Robertson, and the Sabres get it out at center and to the line. Trying to flip it back to the point, and now a shot, a blocker save made by Primo, forces it wide. Sabres get it back into the corner for Zucker. Zucker on the far board, sends it in along the wall, a centering pass, hits the side of the goal. Puck dug free though by Buffalo. They maintain possession. Sent around the boards and back of the net, far corner for Yuri Kulich. Kulich then gave the puck away, and Morgan Riley now gets it up on the wing for Robertson. Nicky Robertson down the left wing. Sends a bouncing shot in well wide of the Buffalo net. Sabres get it down into the corner and now have taken it around back of the goal. Sabres 3, the Leafs 2 with 11:08 to play in the third. Pass off a stick deep into Toronto territory. Myers up on the wing, and Yarncrook doesn't handle the pass cleanly, and the turnover allows Buffalo to shoot it right back in again. Played around back of the net for Myers. Poked up for Yarncrook. He'll try it again. Same result. Leafs finally do get it to center and then in across the line, but Lorenz had to straddle the blue line and couldn't handle the pass. Puck back at center ice, and Jake McCabe settles things down. Myers turns in his own zone as the Leafs and the Sabres are changing. McCabe back in his own territory with 10:26 to play in the third. Played off onto the wing. McCabe drifts back into his own zone. Leafs trying to end a 3-game losing streak. McCabe at the left point with a weak shot that went well wide of the goal. The Sabres have rolled it out and down the ice, and an icing call will come with the face-off with 9:53 to go in the third, deep in Buffalo territory.
One of the disappointing things to the start of the season for the Leafs, the number of home games they've had.
Yes.
And nobody loves playing a ton of home games at the start of the year. But it also means you've got to take advantage. So that's been part of the disappointment. The other part is, the losses they've had, they've all come, other than New Jersey, they've all come against teams that failed to make the playoffs last year. 2 to Detroit, Buffalo, Seattle.
Whoa! A puck rolled off the stick of McMahon, being forced by Alex Tuck, and Primo had to be alert there. We've got a break in the action, and the Leafs need to get organized. It is a 3-2 Buffalo advantage. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
What's your starting point? Wanting to outrun your dog, even if it's a short-legged pug? Wanting to carry in all the groceries in one trip?
Canada, Crave is now the exclusive streaming home of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Let me hear you if you want to win.
2 of the most iconic game shows in television history.
You never know what's going to happen around here.
Stream new seasons next day on Crave.
I'm excited already.
Plus, dive into a massive library of classic episodes, which include Canadian legend Alex Trebek.
Answer. Daily double.
Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.
Models from just 0% for up to 24 months. Or lease the fully electric ID Buzz for 0% for up to 48 months. Plus, get up to $1,000 Volksfest bonus cash on select Volkswagen models. Only until October 31st. See your local VW dealer today. Conditions apply.
Volkswagen.
No question the Maple Leafs are missing William Nylander, who is second to Jack Eichel in scoring with 14 points. Eichel leads the NHL with 16. But Willie's 3 goals and 11 assists have been the high watermark for the Maple Leafs thus far offensively. And he had a couple of great chances the other night. Again with breakaways, scoring on one. And 16 times he had breakaways a year ago and scored on 6 of them. Here's Jake McCabe carrying in on the left wing into the Buffalo zone, into the corner. Strides back at the net, far side, running out of real estate, backhands in, but it's cut off by Bowen Byram, and he's going to skate it out at center. He'll backhand in around back of the Toronto goal. Chipped into the corner, but the Sabres are onto it quickly. Pushed ahead, and now Bobby McMahon sends it out, only to be cleared right back in again. Leafs organizing in their own end with Brandon Carlo, who gets it up ahead at center. Michelli trying to flip in, had it knocked out of the air by the Sabres, and they get it right back out into neutral ice. Now Michelli in again. On the wing for Nyes. Weak shot is deflected off a stick and goes wide. Tavares after it. One of the Sabres has broken a stick and a shot. That drifts wide. Into the far corner is Tavares. Tavares trying to get to it. Played it back along the boards. Sabres are able to replace the player with the broken stick. Or at least who handed it to a defenseman. And now here the Sabres getting it out at center, and it's Jack Quinn carrying in on the wing. Sabres play it around back of the net. 8:16 to play in the third. Leafs trailing by a goal. Simon Benoit, back of the net. Waiting for the teammates to complete the change. Finds Riley on the left wing. Fed ahead for Domi. Launched into Buffalo territory. Byron gets there first. Quickly played to the line, but not out. Just kept in momentarily, though. It comes back at center. And now here's Yarncrook misfiring on a loose puck, and the Sabres bring it back in. And losing his stick or breaking it was Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Now the Sabres have an opportunity with an extra man and a giveaway. And now unable to press the attack was Yarncrook. Looked like he had a chance for a partial breakaway, but he was at the end of the shift and didn't have enough gas. Sabres get it high to center ice. So a couple of opportunities missed as Tuck works in over the line, loses it, and then it is stolen from McCabe from behind. Good play made there by Josh Doan. Round back of the net it goes. Leafs unable to get it freed up, and when they do, they get it out into center ice, and Tavares drops it back for McCabe. Pass back on the far wing. Brought in over the line, trying to drive the net is Joshua. With a shot, he scores! Dakota Joshua! That had eyes as it redirected and into the net. Was Roy in front? No, I don't think he celebrates. It'll be Joshua getting the goal to tie the game at 3.
Second game in as many nights for Dakota Joshua. Down the right wing side and sifts his way from the right wing boards to the middle of the ice, loses it, and then as he catches up to it at the top of the left wing circle, he just flings it to the net. And Nick Waugh was there, taking a defenseman with him, but Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Joe, I think he just misses this. Just kind of waves at it.
Yeah, it went underneath the glove. Did one of the Buffalo Sabres sticks touch it enough to just slow it up? And it dipped on him. Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Goaltender's union prerogative.
Yep.
Brought out now by Matthews. Up on the left wing for Robertson. Robertson sends it high into the far corner. McMahon will forecheck. The puck comes up on the wing, and the Sabres just get it out at center ice. Benoit regrouping with his defense partner, and up on the wing it'll come, and Robertson circles back. Robertson dropping it off. He's going to the bench. Leafs are changing. Myers to the far side. Tavares finds Benoit. Skating room down the left wing. Works around back of the net, but had it poked off his stick. Cleared to the line, and Tavares filling in for his defenseman. Gets it ahead for Michelli. Michelli skates to the right wing side on his backhand, then stopped it up, but was too well covered, and the Sabres are able to get it out into neutral ice. Zucker in across the line, sending it along the boards and around back, and then it bounces in front, and it's caught by Primo, and play is stopped with 5:29 to play in the third, and the game is tied 3-3. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome to
Bigger challenges. Bolder dishes.
Your shrimp is raw.
Stronger competition.
The winner is
MasterChef Canada.
On the road to next summer's historic FIFA World Cup, TSN puts you on the pitch.
Not sure if they come any bigger than this.
Insight, analysis, and everything World Cup. Park the Bus Podcast every Tuesday. Available on TSN's YouTube channel.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.
And you can stream football, soccer, and tennis on Bet99 while you bet. Get in the game with secure deposits and withdrawals. Just add a big screen, a comfy couch, and you're all set. Download the Bet99 app. It's Canadian, eh? 18 plus. Play responsibly. Available to persons in Ontario only. If you have questions or concerns about your gambling or the gambling of someone close to you, please go to connectsontario.ca.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream us on iHeartRadio, the TSN app, or on Apple CarPlay. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it.
Leafs 3 and the Sabres 3. Battling through the third period. Each team has scored a goal in each of the frames. 5:29 left in the third here with a face-off in the Leaf zone. Tavares will take the draw and wins it cleanly, and Riley gets it on the wing, and it's going to be bounced out at center ice, settled down, and brought on by Nyes. Nyes with a wrist shot off the mark wide on the short side. Far side for Josh Doan to get it out. Domi is able to free it up for Tavares. Couldn't flip it in. Sabres break it up and play it back in over the line. Tuck couldn't get away from the back checking of Riley, who plays it around for Domi, and Domi gets it out on a nifty little pass for Nyes. He'll backhand down into Buffalo territory. Gets down there first, but he's outmanned 3-1. And the Leafs, in the midst of a change, have it shot down the ice now by Buffalo. Roaring in on the forecheck is Mallinston. He takes down the Leaf defenseman. The puck goes around back of the net. Mallinston coming out in front, got it into the goal crease, and it's knocked away, and Robertson is able to skate it out. Nicky gets the center with a pass in from Bobby McMahon. Tried to relay it back in front, but it was out of the reach. And then Robertson is drilled from behind by Peyton Krebs into the boards. That could have been a penalty. Shot in offside now by Buffalo.
Well, what are we at in the tally here?
One more. Leafs have been on the power play 3 times. Buffalo 4.
So we're owed 1?
Well, if you adhere to that kind of a thought process, that
yes,
the game is
most
equalized out.
I most certainly do. The Leafs kind of got a break because Mallinson had the hit on Brandon Carlo in the corner, and it broke Carlo's stick, but the Leafs were able to get it back and get it out.
McCabe and Carlo assisting on the Joshua goal. Ow! Referee just, ow, yes, he did. Right where it really hurts. On a deflection, the linesman kind of bent over there.
Not going to need a whistle for a while.
He won't be able to get enough oxygen into the whistle's working.
We'll be tweeting on the zone.
Played down into the Toronto zone. McCabe knocks his man over, but the Sabres carry on, and a goal-mouth pass was knocked away in back of the net. Jake McCabe has it. He'll play it ahead, and Dakota Joshua will play it back into the corner as the Leafs are changing. Both the Sabres and Leafs getting a change in here. 3:36 to play. Roy over the boards along with Cowan. And Joshua. Down into the zone it goes, and Cowan races after the forecheck but can't get there, and the Sabres break it out and bring it down into the Leaf end as Jack Quinn sends it in there. Myers up against the board, slows it up. The puck is dug free and brought out at center ice by Dakota Joshua. He'll roll a bouncing puck in wide of the Sabres net. Cowan in with a pretty good forechecking hit, trying to get the puck free but couldn't get it back to the blue line. And when it is played by the Sabres, it's out into neutral ice. And it bogs right down at the Toronto blue line. And the whistle for an offside has 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in the third period.
From a Leaf standpoint, this 1 point would be a lot more important than it could be to the Sabres. And you give the Sabres credit. Everybody rolled their eyes at the start of the year. They start 0-3, and you go, here we go again. But they beat the Red Wings, who started out hot. Shut out the Florida Panthers at home.
Leafs win this face-off. Off Tavares' stick into the zone. Luukkonen playing it back around the boards. It'll come up on the wing and chopped out at center ice. Riley having difficulties with it, but managed to tie his man up sufficiently to produce an offside. 2:37 left to play. And if it does go to overtime, Don't you think they're really going to miss William Nylander?
Yes. They said the difference a year makes, a year in an injury. Well, the way things are going, maybe Dakota Joshua is your number one guy to throw out, scoring in back-to-back games and put in a huge tying goal here. Both goals were third-period goals.
Leafs win the face-off, and Riley up on the wing. Tavares touched that. Yes, it's into the zone. No icing. Now Tavares breaks up a rush momentarily, but the Sabres regain possession and shoot it down into the Toronto end. Cleared around the glass by the goaltender, and it'll come to center ice. Timmins goes D to D, and the Sabres are organizing in their own end. Bowen Byram off on the right wing side for Connor Timmins. Shot in around the boards into the Leaf zone. 2 minutes to go in the third as Timmins gets a wrist shot in traffic off a body and into the far corner. Pounded on the boards and out at center and down into the Leaf end. No icing, both teams changing. Minute 50 to go. Timmins gives it off to Tag Thompson. Thompson off on the left wing for Byram. He had to slow up to regain possession. Sends it back to Connor Timmins, who has to retrace his steps and gives it back to Byram. And Bowen Byram now gives it to Timmins again, who finally gets it up on the left wing, and the Sabres gain the zone. In on the left wing with a shot off his body in front of the net, and it went just wide, and the Leafs were able to break it out. Matthews, a pass looking for Bobby McMahon, went astray. Sabres with a minute 16 to go in the third. Dahlin back in his own zone for Matthias Samuelsson. Pass off a stick, volleyballed ahead by OEL. He'll get to center, but no further. And then another turnover, and Benoit, his pass nowhere near Nyes. Volleyball to center ice again. Sabres have to wait for teammates to get on side, and they'll send it in and head to the bench. Leafs have it under control back of their own goal with a pass up on the right wing. Here's Roy skating in on the right side. Roy into the corner and around back of the goal. Ran out of room. Sabres are able to punch it up on the wing. Joshua kept it in momentarily, but the Sabres get it out with a half minute to go in the third period. Here's the Sabres in over the line. Good steal now and a turn back up ice. Here are the Leafs with Nyes, but he couldn't get away as he couldn't handle the pass. 16 seconds in regulation left. Tavares to the line, couldn't get into the zone. Sabres block it there with 6 seconds left, and this game appears to be headed to overtime as the horn on cue ends the third period.
So glad I didn't take the train tonight.
You know, a little less out of you would probably go a long way.
No, I was talking about because it was canceled. I didn't have an opportunity, but I'd be struggling. And I said I would give you a ride back. I drove in.
I wouldn't ride with you if you were the last Uber.
Yes, you would. Because I don't have an app.
You mean it's free?
Yes.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we'll be back. You're listening to Maple Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This ascent isn't for everyone. You need grit to climb this high this often. You've got to be an underdog that always...
Welcome to
Bigger challenges. Bolder dishes.
Your shrimp is raw.
Stronger competition.
The winner is
MasterChef Canada. All new. Tuesday at 8, 9 Mountain on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Introducing Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
Join me for an insider look on a wild ride through 40 years of global rock and roll.
Bryan Adams Radio. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app. Or ask your smart speaker to play Bryan Adams Radio on iHeartRadio.
Who's ready to rock?
Kids wanna ride. Time with the Buffalo Sabres. The shots were 9-3 in favor of Toronto in that third period. And Tag Thompson gave the Sabres the lead again with a power play goal. But Dakota Joshua from McCabe and Carlo at 13-10 equalize. And this game is going to overtime.
I'm sure even though Buffalo obviously would love to get the second point, the bonus point here in extra time. You're going to be thrilled with the fact that they're guaranteed 3 out of 4 to this point. And the Leafs are going to be happy going to overtime, considering they trailed here in the third period until Dakota Joshua evened things up with just 6 minutes and 50 seconds left.
Third overtime game for the Maple Leafs this season. They are 1-1 in that department. Austin Matthews scored an overtime winner. Here we go. Leafs to the left. Sabres to the right. 3-on-3. Tuck circles back in the Buffalo zone. They win the faceoff and control the puck. Tuck gets across the line. Looks in front of the net for Ryan McLeod. It comes back to Tom. A shot by Dahlin. That was blocked, but Roy does not have enough speed to catch up. He'll go to the bench and get a change, but the Sabres are in across the line. They're going to drop it back here for McLeod, and he couldn't find a pass on the right side. It'll go around to the far wing. Ryan McLeod with it again into the slot for Dahlin with a shot. Blockered away nicely there by goaltender Primo, and the Leafs have control of the puck for the first time. Matthews giving to Morgan Rielly. Rielly comes out and then circles back. Matthews is joined by Nyes as the two forwards. Rielly back at the goal. Crowd getting into it as Nyes comes across the line on the left wing. Mishandled the puck a little bit, but is able to find some skating room. Still with it in the offensive zone. Drops for Tavares. Tavares had it picked away. Sabres breaking back on the right wing side. Going hard to the net is Thompson. A shot. It comes in front of the goal. Oh, and mishandling it there was Owen Power. The Leafs trying to get it ahead. Tavares has a breakaway. He's in a goal. Score! Holy Mackinac! Johnny Toretto wins the game in overtime. #499 career goals.
Sabres look like they've got 3 opportunities showed for easy goals. One pass is blocked. Another is a missed pass. And John Tavares is able to get in behind the Buffalo defense. Races down, shading to the left wing side, and rips this short side blocker side under the crossbar. To give the Leafs a much needed 2 points against Buffalo.
So the Leafs, I didn't think John Tavares had that much speed left in him. He pulled away there.
But, I mean, the Sabres, though, I mean, one was off his skate, and then Power misses it. And then Matthew Nyes looks up ice and sees John Tavares has taken off and has a step on the Buffalo defenders. Was that Tage Thompson was the last guy back trying to chase Tavares? Yes, it was. And Tavares is able to end it. So the Leafs trailing here in the third period. Dakota Joshua ties it, sends it to extra time, and that also means Caden Primo is a perfect 2-0. Is a member of the Leafs.
We will step aside for the post-game show. Anthony Stewart and Jim Taddy, the Leafs a winner. Go Blue Jays, as the next bit of business is just down the street. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Ever wonder where your money goes each month? You're not alone. Managing your money can feel complicated, but there's good news. ABC Money Matters offers free financial literacy.
On the road to next summer's historic FIFA World Cup, TSN puts you on the pitch.
Not sure if they come any bigger than this.
Insight, analysis, and everything World Cup. Park the Bus Podcast every Tuesday. Available on TSN's YouTube channel.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.
Deal on a featured furnace. For a limited time, you can save 25%. That's a massive savings. With over 60 years of experience and more than 150,000 five-star reviews, you're in great hands. So if you want 25% off a furnace,
call on Reliance. Conditions apply. See website for details.
Dreaming of Mexico's best beaches? Whether it's the Riviera Maya, Cancun, or Los Cabos, your perfect all-inclusive escape is waiting at Sandos Hotels. Enjoy crystal clear waters, white sand shores, gourmet dining, and unforgettable moments for families and couples alike. From jungle adventures to oceanfront relaxation, there's a paradise for everyone. Book your next beach getaway today at sandos.com.
Wherever Canadians raise a glass, you'll find Molson. There's a good reason for that. When you've been in Canada for over 230 years, you get around. In the cups and fridges of Canadians, generation after generation, Molson has a beer for everyone. So raise a glass or cup or whatever you pour your Molson in, because it doesn't matter what it's in, it matters where it's from. Canadian, export, ultra, excel, Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Hey, it's Joe Bowen. It's time to sell your car. What are you going to do? Sell it yourself online? Are you sure you want to deal with strangers and all the crazy offers? Dealerships? You're spending your weekend waiting around and negotiating. There's another option. I've heard people raving about it. It's called Clutch. They give you a real offer up front, locked in with no surprise fees. Then they come to your home, pick up your car, and pay you on the spot. So go to